Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here, Stock Markets with Bruce. A little late, but I'm here. I made it. How you guys doing today? Welcome to my channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, where we talk about the stock market in plain English. That's kind of the whole mantra of this channel. I don't do live trading on the air or anything like that. I follow the markets, and I do have GameStop on my big ass iPad right over here, seeing it at $111 right now. Kind of happy to see it doing that. That's kind of nice. I hope you're doing well today out there, and I hope GameStop and the markets are treating you well and fairly. I've got a bunch of info that I keep coming up with on GameStop that I feel you guys should know. You should be in on, and I thought you might know some of this information, you might not. I'll try to explain it in a very simple way to cut out the clutter, because you probably are aware, many of you, just how difficult it is to follow some of these analysts and Wall Street guys with their unique lingo and stuff. Some are great, some are not so great. It has been kooky here on GameStop. I'm getting sick and tired of watching, for example, CNBC on my television and reading up on stories of GameStop and just seeing this absolute. I think it's a pretty one-sided story about how people in the know, those who are on camera and being told what to say by their directors and producers with their headpieces, they're just slamming GameStop a lot. I mean, GameStop is really taking a lot of flack out there, and I'm a little disappointed, but I'm a little upset about it too. I'd say worse, but this is a PG-rated live show, so no nasty words, please. Anyway, I just find it amazing how the so-called pros out there that we follow are just slamming this company as if it's a pariah. They keep referring to it as a bricks and mortar game seller, and they don't discuss anything about how the company is completely transforming from what it used to be to what it's becoming. Very few people get there. As I've seen a number of interviews where they'll have a guest on for 3 minutes, and in the last 20 seconds, the guest manages to get in this information, like tries to get in the information about, Ryan Cohen joining the board with 2 other Chewy executives and how they're, and, oh, we're out of time. We got to go. We had just enough time to talk about how the investors are crazy and how Wall Street bets people are idiots and they're a mob. They're a violent, threatening mob, and they're out of control. And I'm just going, you got to be kidding me. These are your viewers. Theoretically, we're the people you're trying to sell cars to, and whatever else you're advertising on that station, and the other stations and what have you. And I just kind of go, you guys are just, it's ridiculous. In any event, coming up with some interesting stats in the last 24 hours since I was last here. If any of you were here yesterday, I went live for the first time while GameStop was trading and trying to kind of keep you posted on what was going on. And appreciate all of your comments and encouraging words. And I invite you to say hi to me. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'd love to know. And I like to give you folks shout outs if I possibly can. And thank you again for being here. I'm more than happy to talk about GameStop. I am not an investor. I don't own shares in GameStop or any company. I don't have contracts like calls or put contracts or any options, anything like that. I'm not paid by anyone to be here. I'm an independent YouTube creator with 2 YouTube channels. This channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, and this channel right here, Traveling with Bruce. And this one is my big channel. This is my first channel. It's 3.5 years old. It has 61,000 plus subscribers. And then the Stock Markets channel, which started in the summertime as a sort of a side channel and is now really catching some waves. And we're over 2,600 subscribers. We were at 1,100 3 weeks ago. So this channel is really growing. 600 subscribers yesterday. Unbelievable. So welcome aboard. I'm out of Canada. I'm in British Columbia, Canada. And I am a former stockbroker, branch manager of a brokerage firm. Then I became a vice president and regional manager of a brokerage firm out of Toronto, handling province of Alberta. Then I took my own company public with a business partner. Then years later, I moved to the Cayman Islands, and I was an offshore asset manager for a few years there. And then I did that work back in North America, where I didn't live in the Caymans anymore, but I did all my business there. And now here I am, kind of retired, but not. in Canada, and I love following the markets, and this GameStop story and the stock market in general always fascinates me. I love following it, and I figured, why not do a channel about the market, talk about it in plain English so you folks can understand what the hell is going on. So I think there's a lot of opening for this kind of info out there, because I get so many questions from people asking me the most basic questions about the market. And if you're a high-end, very sophisticated investor, you may find me boring most of the time, because I'm not speaking at the level of a trading floor or a stock analyst or anything like that. There's many channels you can go to for that, so don't worry. Right now, GameStop 112 a share, volume 71 million shares according to MarketWatch. I'm watching the stock on MarketWatch. I don't have any fancy trading systems or anything like that. Anyone can watch the stock like I watch. This is free on the internet. Just go to marketwatch.com and pop in GME for the symbol, and you can watch the stock all you want. And I noticed on the top of the page, I have the Dow up 29 points right now. Now S&P up 1.75 and the NASDAQ up 24 at the moment. So that's what the live score count is. And GameStop is jumping $1 or $2 a trade back and forth, depending on whether a bid is getting hit or an offering is getting nailed. And away we go. All right, let's talk about some information that you might find interesting. I hope you do. Friday, that's 2 days ago, when the stock went really crazy. It had already gone crazy, as you all know. It went from that $18 range to 38, and then it hung around for a couple of days in the 38 to 47 range, and then it went to the $76 mark one day, and I think that was Friday, if I recall. And then Monday, it did what it did yesterday, hitting 159. I mean, that was just nuts. And here we are today with a range of 80 for the low and 114 for the high. But last Friday was an options expiration day. Every Friday is an options expiration day on all stocks that have options traded on them. And that virtually means virtually every S&P 500 company and many of the Russell 3000s. GameStop is no exception. Every Friday at the close, options expire. And this has been a huge conundrum for a lot of people with respect to what to do and what's been happening. By the way, Darwin, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the donations, you guys. On Friday itself, a total of 2,130,000 options traded hands in GameStop during Friday's trading session. Now, one options contract, just one, represents 100 shares of stock. So if you're a buyer of a call option, you have the right to buy 100 shares of GameStop from the seller of that contract to you, or any other call holder. It doesn't matter. The exchanges will match you up with a call holder. You can buy 100 shares at a set price for a set period of time. On Friday, expiration day, a lot of contracts that were trading were dying that night. They were going to expire that day because they have a time limit, and then they don't trade anymore. And at the end of the day, you settle up. At the end of Friday, you settle up. You either exercise your contract or your contract is worthless. It all depends on where the stock closed and where your option price is. If you're a call buyer and you have a $60 call where you're allowed to buy 100 shares at $60, but you paid $10 for the privilege or $20 for the privilege, whatever that cost was, on Friday close, if the stock is sitting at $100 and you have a $60 call contract, there's a $40 difference between what you can buy the stock for, $60, and what you can sell the stock for, $100, right at the end of the day. So in theory, your option should be worth $40 because that's the value of each share between $60 and $100 times 100 shares. So the contract is worth 40 times 100 shares, $4,000. Now, if you paid $10 per share, $1,000 for that contract, say 3 months ago, 5 months ago, when the stock was at $15 a share, you bought $60 contracts. Were you gambling? You were hoping that maybe the shares would be over $60, but you paid very little. You might have only paid $5 for the contract, $8. You might have paid 10. You might have paid 4 to get 40 for an investment of say $5, 500 in, 4,000 out. Nice return. 2,130,000 contracts of all kinds traded hands, including not only the call contracts, but the put contracts. And a put contract is the opposite of a call, where if you buy a put contract from someone, you have the right to sell them 100 shares at a set price. So right now, with the stock at $114, if you buy a put contract for, say, a $100 strike price, you could sell 100 shares of the stock, GameStop, to that seller for $100 a share. Thank you, William, for your PayPal donation. Thank you. You can sell that person 100 shares at 100 for $100 each. Why would you do that if the stock's trading at 115 like it is right now? You wouldn't. But if the stock went down to 80 and you can sell the 100 shares to someone else for 100, you'll do that instead, right? Your put contract on Friday at the bell, if it's $20 in the money, is worth $2,000. $20 per share times 100 shares. So there are call contracts in the money, put contracts in the money, and then there are contracts out of the money. And so some contracts expire worthless because you can do better by just buying or selling the stock yourself on the open market. And some of the contracts are worth money because the strike price of the option is in the money, whether you can buy the shares or dump the shares to somebody else. Friday, like I said, 2.13 million shares. What does that mean? If you think about it, you multiply 2,130,000 contracts times 100 shares, because these contracts represent units of 100. We're talking about 213 million shares changing hands, or the right to buy or sell 213 million shares of GameStop at prices ranging from probably $10 a contract up to, I know for a fact, up to $60 a contract. These are the contracts that expired on Friday. There are other contracts that trade with longer expiration dates and higher expiration prices because the stock has gone higher than 60. But on Friday, a lot of contracts expired that only reached $60. In any event, the amount of money that was changing hands in the option market rivals the kind of money that's changing hands in the stock market for the actual shares themselves. It's mind-numbing. Now, there's more money changing hands for stock trades than for option trades, because when you buy and sell 100 shares, you're paying right now $118 to buy them, or you're getting $118 to sell them. With an option, I might be paying $25 for a contract, $40 for a contract, all depending on the strike price and how long the contract has to live. There are contracts trading right now that don't expire until late this year. November, you can buy contracts, $100 strike price, puts or calls that don't expire till the third week of November. And they go out about a year or so. So at least, roughly. But every Friday, there's a new series of contracts expiring. On Monday, yesterday, when the shares hit 159, the total volume of options that traded yesterday were 355,000 contracts, because no options expired yesterday. They expire this Friday. The next series expire this Friday. So as we get closer to Friday, the volume on these contracts might be expanding, getting more active, because people are going to want to decide what to do, especially with the stock swinging. Right now, 123.74 as I'm talking to you live. We're hitting the high of the day. So the higher the shares go, the higher the call options are worth, the lower the put contracts get. But the lower the stock goes, the more valuable the put contracts get, the least valuable the call contracts get. They mirror the stock like this. The stock goes up and down, the options go up and down. Puts, calls, either side of the market. And so there's a ton of gambling going on, big time Las Vegas gambling going on with contracts. You can buy just one contract if you want, or you can buy 10, or you can buy 100, you can buy 15, you can buy 6, doesn't matter. The options market is democratic. All are welcome. And most people lose money. One of the downfalls of options, unfortunately, is that they expire in a certain amount of time. And as they get in their last week or 2 or 3 of life, every day that goes by, and remember, there's only 5 trading days a week normally, unless there's a Monday holiday, then you've lost the whole day. These options might have 15 days to live, 12 days to live. Right now, the contracts that expire this Friday, they have 3.5 days to live. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the half the day that's left today. If you're trying to buy a $120 contract, stock's at 116, you're out of the money. If this was Friday close coming up, you have nothing. So whatever the 120 is going for that expires this Friday, you're paying a fortune for it. Excuse me. There are option players out there buying gazillions of calls and gazillions of puts, depending on which way they think the market's going. If you think the market's going up, you're buying calls because you want to be able to get the stock at a set price, and you want to leverage yourself with a gain as the stock runs up on you. If you think the market is going the opposite direction, you're buying puts because the lower the stock goes, the more valuable your put contract gets. And it all depends on what the strike price is that you have. That'll determine how much you end up making when it's all said and done. I hope you can follow me on this. I hope I'm not losing you on this. But that is a real small story, a little sliver of the options market. But on Friday, 2.1 million shares traded. Now, in GameStop, there are only 51 million shares that are technically available to trade, called free trading stock. These are shares not held by holders of stock that are restricted from trading or have to report to the SEC, like the president of the company and directors. They have to announce their intentions of what if they want to dispose of stock. So they're not necessarily free trading. 51 million free trading. This number varies between companies. In the case of Apple, there are billions of shares at free trade. In the case of Chewy, the company that Mr. Cohen used to own, who's now a director of GameStop, there's about 110 million shares in existence and a huge number of free trading stock. But in GameStop, there are only, and I say only, 51 million shares that could possibly trade. Today's volume right now, 71 million last I saw. 71.6 million shares traded today. There's only 50 million that can trade. So what's happening? Shares are being bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold. There are day traders out there who are buying 1,000 shares at 111, which is where we're at right now, and they'll try to sell it at 112 and make a buck on 1,000 shares, $1,000. You can make easy money, but you can also lose easy money. You can buy 1,000 shares at 111 and then end up selling them at 109 because you guessed wrong. There are people out there who are shorting stock at 112, trading 112 right now. They'll short it at 112 and buy it back at 111. They only want to make $1 on 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 300 shares, 242 shares, 17 shares. People are buying and selling stock in any amount they want through whatever platform they're using to buy and sell stock. If you're a Robinhood share, if you're a Robinhood client, you know what I'm talking about. Fractional share ownership. You can either buy $100 worth of GameStop right now, and you'll not even get a share. You'll get about a 0.85% of a share, or you can buy shares in numbers, absolute numbers. I want to buy 10 shares of GameStop right now at $113.30. I just see the last trade. It varies. Okay, so buying and selling the stock can be done in any price you want, and there are people who are in and out all day long, all the time, because they love this. They love this volatility, and that's the word you hear a lot right now, volatility. This stock is volatile. It's up $36 a share today, but it was up to $159 yesterday. At 113, it's looking good, but it looked even better for about a minute yesterday afternoon. Absolutely wild swings on the stock. And so when people ask me, Bruce, where do you think it's going to go tomorrow? I'm going, I have no idea. I just know the basic aspect of the basic numbers of this company. There are fewer shares available than really people want to trade. That's really the fact. There are way more people interested in trading this stock than there is stock available. And that's why it can go up $34 during a day with 70 odd million shares. You trade 70 million shares of Apple in a day, you won't move that stock more than $1 or $2 because there's billions out there for free trading. Here, this stock is so tightly held. Of the 51 million shares, I bet you 40 million of those are not available unless they go to $200, $300 a share. They're just not available. They're being really tightly held. You hear the term diamond hands. People buy the stock and then they hold it and they're not letting it go because they know what I know and a lot of you are hearing about, and that is there's a short squeeze going on. And that term, short squeeze, is the term that's being used by everyone on Wall Street, everyone on the TV analysts, and some of them are misusing the term. Others are getting it just right. A lot of them don't understand what it means. It's just a catchy phrase. And a lot of people are trying to associate the term short squeeze as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's called the great equalizer. That's exactly what it is. I've got so much to tell you guys. It's unbelievable. When the shares were trading at $5 a share back last summer, they were as low as $2.69 last year or so, last 52 weeks. And between there and about $5, they were there for a long time, and they weren't going anywhere. They'd get to 450 and then back to 410, and then they get to 480 and back to 440. And day after day, week after week, they weren't doing a dang thing. There were at that time 70 million shares, 70 million shorted against the company. The company's stock had been nailed, had been just hit by short sellers for a year or two. I'm going to show you a chart here of the stock. Here you go. This is the stock from 2010 until just this past summer. So you can see on the far right, it shows a $4.14 price. That's the kind of the low range of the stock. But look at 2015. The shares were in the 30 to 45 range, but just before and just after 2015. At that point in time there, short sellers ganged up on this company because short sellers figured 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they figured, you know what, this is a brick and mortar company with 5,000 retail stores around the world in Australia, New Zealand, England, Europe, Canada, and the USA. And they sell game systems and games. They do used game trade-ins and all that kind of stuff. And they have their other accessories that they sell. But they're doing it out of 5,000 brick and mortar locations. And every year, their sales are going down by 1 or 2 or 3 percentage points. They're just losing market share. They're not able to grow their business. They're just hanging on. And the company began to slowly close out stores, underperforming stores, or they would get a landlord that would come to them at the end of a lease and say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, we really liked having you in our mall the last 15 years. And, you know, we charge you $8,000 a month rent. We want to charge you $10,000 a month rent for the next 5 years. And the GameStop management would go, well, we'll pay you $7,000 rent for the next 5 years. And the landlord and the company couldn't make a deal. And the GameStop people would shut the store down and walk. So they would start dropping underperforming stores. In many cases, GameStop's lease would come up. They wouldn't even negotiate a new deal. They just walked because they were not going to carry underperforming stores. Well, the short sellers out there, they could smell this. They saw this. They saw the financials. They thought this is fantastic. We'll short this stuff at $45. We'll short it at 35, at 30, 20, 28, 25, 22, 20, 18. The lower it goes, we'll keep hammering this thing and we'll drop this stock down, down, down. And they did. And they were still short 70 million shares when it got down to the $2 to $3 to $4 range. You would think that after you have a win like that, once you're that successful, you got the stock all the way down to between $2 and $4 a share. You would think you would now buy back your stock and say, yeah, I scored. I shorted 1 million shares at $15 and now they're at $5 and I'm going to buy them back and I got a $10 million profit. I'm a god. This is great. No, they got greedy. They decided, oh, this company's going out of business. The fact that they were still selling $5 and $6 billion worth of merchandise in a failing company didn't matter to these guys. They figured they're never going to change their ways. These guys are done for. What they forgot, and what a lot of you might not know, is while the shares were crapping out from the 30, 45, 35, 25 range, all the way down, all that time, the company was buying back their own stock because they were saying to themselves, we're underpriced here. Our shares are too low. We have 5,000 locations. We're doing $5-6 billion in sales. We have a new game system coming out from Microsoft, from Sony in the holiday season 2020. These shares at $4-5 a share, they're way too low. Under $5, we got to buy this stuff. And what did they do? The company, within 1 year, they bought back something like 34 million shares. I believe the number, I have it right here. Just pardon me. I got to go to my notes because my notes are getting quite long on GameStop because the story is getting quite interesting. They picked up approximately 34.6 million shares of their own stock in chunks. They just kept buying it and buying it and buying it. The average price that GameStop paid for their own paper, $5.14. This is supposedly a company going out of business, a failing brick and mortar company. It'll never see the light of day again. There's going to be a mess. They're like Blockbuster. They're just going to blow up. Well, if that's the case, Blockbuster shut down in the early 2000s. These guys are still in business in 2021. What happened? It didn't happen. Shares were were bought back. Excuse me. The shares were bought back at an average of 514. So they bought stock in the $4 range. They had to have bought it at the $3 range, 350, 380, 420, 440, and then over 5. They bought it all back, and they canceled the certificates. So there are a total right now of 69 million shares that exist. All the shares that are possibly out there, 69 million. It used to be over 100 million shares, but those 34 million are gone. But the short sellers who were short 70 million didn't buy back their stock at any price. And things started to happen right around the fall of this past year in 2020, around November and December. A lot of things started to happen. But before even that, back in the summer and fall of last year, activist investors started to get involved in this company because they too saw the light. They went, oh, what's going on here? There's 70 million shorted. There's only 50 odd million free trading. And a couple of activists bought up 7% of the company. And they rallied the market a little bit, but not very long. It didn't last very long. Not much happened because they didn't buy enough. They bought 7%, but if they had bought a little bit more, that could have caused a bit of a squeeze. But there wasn't a squeeze at that point in time, and the shorts just kept hammering it. I wouldn't be surprised if the short sellers sold the stock to the guys who became insiders of the company. They joined the board, and they began to, from the inside, convert the company. What did they do? They sold their head office in Texas. They sold their warehouse in Texas, turned around and signed a 10-year lease to lease the buildings. They did a sale leaseback, brought in $40 million cash. Up in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, they sold the offices there and the warehouse, turned around and leased it back, took in another 20 odd million. Did the same in Australia. These guys offloaded their company jet. They got rid of all the extras and they brought in cash. They brought in cash to buy back the stock. They knew something way back then that none of us were figuring out yet because the stock was still at $4 or $5 a share. They were buying up the stock with whatever cash they could get their hands on. They renegotiated their lines of credit, and they were able to easily extend their credit, grow their credit. All their bankers are happy. No one is behind in payments. All is well. And they knew we've got these new game systems coming up. And then they knew this past March, everyone's stuck at home. People can't go anywhere around the world. It's not like a US problem. This is a global problem. No one can go anywhere. What are a lot of people doing that are stuck at home right now? Oh, I know. They're doing this. They're playing on their game systems, passing the time, playing their gaming systems. There are 2 billion gamers around the world. There are probably, there are 55 million gamers that are in the club for the Power Up Club for GameStop. And they get emails all the time from the company, updates all the time of what's coming out. And the company has a website, and they began to improve their website because they had to shut down stores like everybody else had to shut down stores. And they decided to start selling merchandise online. This all is happening in a dead brick and mortars company. These guys aren't dead at all. They're quite crafty, these guys. But the big move that moved the stock, as most of you are, I'm sure are now aware, is when Mr. Cohen began buying stock in the company. Once it was declared, once he declared his position of at least 5% or more ownership, and when he hit 10%, he was a deemed insider without question. And the street went, oh my God, this guy just bought up 6 million shares of the company. Then he went up to 9 million shares of the company, and it's all free trading stock he's buying. He probably bought stock from shorters. And by the time he was finished buying the stock was sitting at about 12 to 14 bucks a share. By the time he was at 13% ownership, he was immediately welcomed with open arms by the board of directors to join the party, join the board of directors, bring 2 of your associates with you, because the board of directors are going, how lucky are we? This guy ran Chewy, an online pet food and supply company, from nothing to a multi-billion-dollar company. He sold it off for a gain of $3 billion. The company is now a publicly traded company. It's valued at 30, 40 billion bucks. And he is on our board of directors. He's going to help us become an online e-commerce company. And it's going to completely change our game plan. Our company is going to be completely different. And we don't care if we shut down our brick and mortar stores, because every brick and mortar store we shut down, we unfortunately have to let 10 to 15 people go, because you've got part-time employees, full-time employees, area managers that eventually get laid off, area distribution centers that get shut down. What I'm talking about here is the more stores they close, the cheaper it is for the company to be in business. And the more they just go onto the e-commerce side. And they're telling their clients who can't go into the stores anyway, they're saying, hey, you've been buying online anyway. We'll just keep doing this online thing. We'll just enhance it, and we'll arrange shipping to you right to your home. You don't have to get out of your house to buy the gaming systems you want and whatever you want to do. Ryan Cohen is going to take this company from a little online seller to an e-commerce powerhouse within the gaming business. And don't be surprised if you begin to hear in the next few months, over the next year, all kinds of online initiatives that will be created by this new team of forward-thinking people. These are not brick and mortar guys that have been brought in to salvage an old name. This is the new GameStop that will be the surviving company going forward. Keep in mind also that if you buy stock in a brick and mortar company, analysts on Wall Street will give it a certain valuation based on its PE multiple or its gross sales or its cost of business. There's a set formula for all of these calculations, from Macy's to JCPenney to Kmart to Sears to Costco to Target. Brick and mortar stores have a set way to be evaluated. Then there's Amazon. And then there's PetSmart, there's Chewy. There are online retailers, the eBays of the world, all the others. They are valued in a different way. They are valued on their sales ratios, and they trade at a much higher per share multiple than a brick and mortar store does. Because if you operate 5,000 brick and mortar stores, you have 5,000 leases that you're dealing with. You've got a legal team at your head office and in various countries where these stores are located that do nothing but renegotiate and renew leases. 100 a week. Because if you got 5,000 stores, 100 a week have to be renegotiated every time. This is unbelievably expensive. This is incredibly expensive. You can get rid of that and drop that down to maybe 1,000 stores in the US and Canada only, and sell the rest off and shut down the underperformers. You've just lowered your cost of business from every direction you can imagine. Legals, the ink in your printer, just printing these leases up, the negotiating time required, the banking systems. You need a separate bank account for each store in each town that you operate in, depending on the state, the country, and the currency. Now you can throw that all out the window. You're down to maybe 5 currencies: the Australian dollar for online sales there, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, the American dollar, the British pound, and the euro. 6 currencies, and you just need 6 bank accounts, and you can do it all online. This company's costs are going to drop, and their margins are going to dramatically go higher on every sale that they make. So every dollar coming in to the account from a sale, more of it will be kept behind. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's the new company. Well, that's how other companies are measured. All these online sellers are measured exactly that way, because they don't have 5,000 bloody locations all over the place. They've got 4 warehouses, and Amazon has warehouses around the world trying to dominate everything. In the case of Amazon, you might be able to find a gaming system for $1 less than from Amazon. Not from Amazon, from Best Buy. But about a year from now, if you're buying a gaming system through the GameStop website, you're probably getting an automatic membership into the GameStop Club, which gives you all kinds of other discounts, all kinds of other privileges, trade-in opportunities. Amazon just wants your money and piss off. There's no loyalty there. There's some with the Prime program and the free shipping and Amazon's a good company. I'm not slamming them, but you want to compare Amazon to a specialty e-commerce retailer of GameStop 2 years from now? No comparison. GameStop will beat them hands down for service and product familiarity, loyalty to the customer. It's a whole different ballgame. This is where Best Buy is going to have a problem. This is where Walmart will have a problem, because again, they're price centered. They want a deal on price. I expect GameStop to have the power, the muscle, to be able to negotiate with Sony and Microsoft and other producers of product for exclusive product for their stores that you can't get anywhere else. If you've ever noticed, have you ever gone to a Costco location at Christmas time and you're looking to buy a toy for a child? You might notice that in the toy displays at Christmas time in Costco, there are toys there that look familiar to you, like a G.I. Joe perhaps, or a Star Wars toy. You can't find that toy anywhere else, the exact version of that item. It's made exclusively for Costco. There's one at Sam's Club exclusively for them. There's one at Kmart that they carry, or other retailers. You can't buy the same item all over the place anymore. Well, the same is going to happen with GameStop and the gaming systems and all of its merchandise. They'll become specialized for GameStop customers. This, again, means they're not competing with Amazon for price or selection. They've got their own in-house product customized for their clientele with the manufacturer's assistance. And this is where the loyalty goes up from the e-commerce side for GameStop. This is why their website is going to become a massive moneymaker for the company. Another thing I'll mention, I've mentioned this a couple days ago, they are selling advertising space on their website. So the Nintendos of the world and the other manufacturers of headsets, the seats, cables, you name all the accessories that gamers can get. They're buying premium space on the website page for premium positioning over other brands by paying for the better placement. It's like a newspaper. You remember the newspaper? The front page never had ads on it except for the top corner. The back of the first section of a newspaper was usually a full page ad for a car company or Apple or whoever. That's premium positioning. Well, there's premium positioning on websites. And GameStop is going to make money just operating their website as a publisher. They're going to make money. They have 55 million followers now that are bona fide club members. That will expand. There are 2 billion gamers around the world. They will go global. They're not going to just sell online to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, UK, and Europe. They're going to sell online to India. They're going to sell online to Pakistan. They're going to sell online to Israel. They'll sell online to Turkey. Global. They're going global. Again, the analysts you are watching on television and the so-called experts that are telling you, oh, these shares are crazy right now. These people are idiots paying these kinds of prices. They don't get it. They don't want to get it. And a number of them are not interested in telling you this info because they're probably perhaps employed by or encouraged by major entities out there that are short sellers that have no interest in this company's future as far as the stock is concerned. And every dollar this thing is going up, they're getting more upset. And they're caught, their hand is caught in the cookie jar and they know it. And there are mousetraps going off down there, nailing them. And this is not going to stop. As I said, I'm reading articles online in bona fide, legitimate, internationally renowned publications, Wall Street type publications, where I can tell you, you read these comments, you read these articles, and you're saying to yourself, this guy's being paid by the short seller. This guy's a shill. He's only telling you one side of the story. Usually it's a he, could be a she, but it's usually a one-sided story, all about how bad this thing is. They're not in any way sharing with you the upside potential and the future of this company. No one's talking about GameStop a year from now. They're talking about GameStop from 5 years ago. They're not talking about tomorrow's GameStop. They're talking about yesterday's GameStop, and they're doing a disservice to investors. But that's for you to decide as an investor or as a follower, whether you want to believe that or follow that or not, reward them or not, or what have you. $114.67 a share right now is what I'm showing on the stock. I'm just going to take a look here on my phone. I've got my show up here, but let me just pop up for a quick GameStop quote. Volume now, 96.8 million shares. My big ass iPad, for whatever reason, on MarketWatch doesn't necessarily update it as I'd like it to, and so I have to refresh it manually and work it up. But it's still, even though I just refreshed it, it still shows 71 million shares. Total shares traded, 96 million shares. 51 million free trade, kids. How is this possible? Well, yeah, the turnover. Let's take a look at some charts. Let's have some fun. Oh my God. And I'll tell you a few more stories because I haven't gotten to the big story yet. I got a big story for you today that is really going to take this to another level. Here, let me take a look at this. This was the chart before I went on the air when the shares were at $108 a share. So that's obviously obsolete. This is a 1 week chart that ended yesterday. And you can see right over here. Yeah, 119 range. It ended yesterday at, what was it yesterday? $76 a share. And in the aftermarket, it went higher. And it hit the high there. Unbelievable. Here's a chart for the last 2 years. And you can just see how the shares were, down in the $4, $5, $6 range down here. And here they are now, higher than that. Unbelievable. This chart right here is something you should also be very well aware of. This is a chart that was produced a few weeks ago. Excuse me. It's a GameStop short interest percentage of float. This shows you how many shares are shorted versus how many shares are free floating. And if you watch the chart from the far right, you'll see it at the 2004, 2006 range. But when you get to 2018 and then 2019, the dramatic run up happens. And what you need to know is between 2018 and 19 and into 20, the company bought back 34 million of their shares. And now you can see how the short interest spiked. As each month went by, it paused at that 100% range for a while and then shot up yet again. And it's now up to that 140% range as we speak. So because the company bought back 34 million of their shares, that means there's fewer shares free trading. The shorters didn't buy back their stock. So their percentage of free trading went way over and it's now 140%. So if every single short seller bought his stock back, there would still be 20 million shares shorted and no one to get them from. The only people left you can get them from now are the owners of the company and the top holders of the stock. You think they're going to do the short sellers any favors? I don't think so. I have been waiting for the company to make an announcement about this whole scenario to comment on it. But I have been reading a few comments here and there that the reason so far we might not have heard anything is because the company might be under a gag rule because they're coming out with their fourth quarter financials. So I think that might be it. Their year-end numbers are coming out, and right now they're in a no comment period, but I can't verify that. I wish I could verify it, but I can't. What else do I want to tell you? What could the company do to make the shares go higher? If they were to issue stock from the treasury at $110 a share today, and raise $100 million today, the shares would go higher. Why? Not because there's more shares trading. It's because there's $100 million in the account in cash that just showed up. If they were to issue 20 million shares into the street, they could raise $2 billion in cash or more. The company would then have $2 billion cash plus whatever the cash they've got now, with only 90 million shares outstanding. The book value of the company would automatically be about $30 a share in cash value. So every time they issue stock and take this money and put it in the treasury, the book value of the company goes up. Its actual breakup value goes higher. And so the shares will never go back to $5 a share. It'll never go back to 10. If it's worth 30, because that's how much cash they've got in the bank, it'll never go to 30 because it'll probably sit at 60, 70. They've just put a floor on the stock. They'll have put a floor on this stock at $60 a share with it trading at 116 right now. If they were to do another little trick, which is old school, and this shows how old I am, they could do a rights offering. Do you know what a rights offering is? This is where you announce a special dividend. You announce a dividend and you give every shareholder a certificate called a rights certificate, a GameStop rights certificate. It's a miniature option. And the company will come out and say, for every 4 rights you have, so if you have 4 shares, you're going to have 4 rights, put the 4 rights together, you can buy 1 share from the treasury of the company at a set price for a set period of time, maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. If they were to come out today with a rights offering, again, this is all theoretical because they have to file it and it takes time to get the lawyers to do it, and you have to announce the record date, and it takes time. But in any event, if they announced a rights offering, just announced it, that every shareholder would get a right, and with 4 rights you could buy a share, or for every 2 rights you could buy a share, this would take the stock to another level you cannot believe, because there's 70 million shares outstanding in total. There'd be 70 million rights. You would allow you to buy 35 million shares from the Treasury. 2 rights gets you 1 stock at, say, $100 a share. Just pick 100. So it's at 119 this second. 35 million shares will be issued at $100 a share. $3.5 billion would come into the treasury of the company. And a brokerage firm that had its smarts about it would guarantee and sponsor the rights offering. In other words, the brokerage firm would say, whoever the brokers are, Goldman Sachs and all the other guys, they would say whatever rights are not exercised by the shareholders, if they decline the opportunity to buy more stock from the treasury, we, the broker, will do a bought deal. We'll guarantee the rights offering. And it's a guaranteed $3.5 billion financing for the company. There'll be 105 million shares outstanding with $3.5 billion bucks in the bank. That's a $33 book value company right there, right there. In the meantime, while the rights are alive, before they expire, just like an option, they expire, you as a shareholder would get these rights. They're listed. They're on the exchange. You could sell them. If the shares are 120 bucks a piece, and it takes 2 rights to buy 1 stock at $100 a share, each right is worth 10 bucks a share. You could just sell it and cash in the money. You got 100 shares, they just gave you $1,000 in rights for nothing. You can just sell the $1,000 in rights, pocket the money if you want, knowing that the broker is going to exercise it anyway. On the other hand, you could buy the shares yourself at $100 a share, and you're going to hold the shares. You're not offering the stock to anybody. And the guys who are short, the 70 million shareholders, they don't have any rights. They don't get any rights. They're short 70 million rights. They got to buy 70 million rights. Rocco, thank you for your donation to PayPal. I just saw it pop in on my screen. I thank all of you for making any donation to this guy. I appreciate it. The squeeze then would be unbearable. Now we were talking tens of billions of dollars in losses for the short sellers. This is something I think the company could do. I'm not a lawyer in the SEC. All right, I can't verify and guarantee this 100% that this would work, but I think it would. I'm thinking old school. Just issue these rights, or issue warrants and issue warrants which can last 6 months or 3 months. It can last a lot longer than a right can, and give the option to the shareholder if they want to exercise the stock and buy the stock from the treasury or not. We're now at 121 bucks a share, by the way. You want to see a stock go to $200 to $300 a share? Watch out, because you've just doubled the short position. You've now made it 100. Well, it's 100. It's 70 million short plus 35 million more short, because all those rights have to be exercised. I'm just thinking out of the box here. No one on these television sets are going to talk to you about this. Anyway, there you go. I'm not a shill for the company. I'm not employed by GameStop. I don't own any GameStop shares. I don't own any options. I have no conflict of interest. I am a YouTuber that survives on ad revenue that I get when you watch my videos. I survive on donations that you make to my channel, and I thank you so much. I have a second channel, Traveling with Bruce. It's been running for 3.5 years. I've been living from that, and it's been tough because we've got a virus going on and we aren't cruising anywhere on cruise ships. I love talking about cruise ships, but I also love talking about the shares of the cruise lines, and they're still overpriced. Anyway, there you go. There's a couple things for you on GameStop. All right. Now, there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, the big news. I haven't told you the big news yet. This happened yesterday. I don't know if you noticed it, but if you were watching CNBC, there came on the air, just after lunch hour, around midday, a little 5-minute presentation from one of the reporters. They reported a story. It was breaking news. And then for the rest of the day, we didn't hear much about it. And I can tell you that today, if you go to the big Wall Street Journal sites and all the majors, you have to dig a little bit to find this story. But then again, if you're wary of the markets and you know what you're doing, you know this story, you know what it is I'm about to tell you, but you might not have thought about it in the way I'm going to tell you about this breaking story. Yesterday afternoon, it was announced that a company called Melvin Capital which is a firm that is a hedge fund, and it's run by a fellow whose name, I think I wrote it down here somewhere. Just bear with me. Yeah, where is this name? Where did I write that guy's name down? I thought I wrote it down. Yeah, Gabriel Plotkin. I love that last name, Plotkin. Gabriel Plotkin. He's running Melvin Capital, former portfolio manager of Steve Cohen's company called SAC Capital. I think it's a bigger pension hedge fund. He started, I think, in 2001, Gabriel Plotkin, with $950 million in capital. He now manages something like $13 billion. Yesterday afternoon, he announced, or his company announced, that they had accepted an investment, quote unquote, an investment into his capital fund of $2.75 billion in cash. Again, accepted an investment of $2.75 billion in cash. The money came from two entities. One was called Citadel, and the second one is called Point 72. These are also hedge fund companies themselves. I did a little digging on Melvin Capital this morning, and just a little. I have not dug into this company in any big way. I just did a little bit of digging, and I found a couple of interesting things. They have to file what is known as 13F filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. They have to disclose their positions in stocks that they own. Because they're deemed to be, I guess, insiders because of their sophistication and size, and that they deal with a number of clients, and they're representing client money, so they have to disclose their holdings. But I found something very interesting about what you have to disclose and what you don't have to disclose. In the USA, for the SEC requirements, if you're running a hedge fund, you must disclose all the shares you hold in a company. So if you own 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares or 1 million shares of a stock, you have to disclose that every quarter, once every 3 months. And I found at the end of September 2020, the 13F filing for Melvin Capital. It's available online. You can Google it yourself if you want to take the time. But I found out something else. Not only do you have to declare the shares that you own long, you don't have to declare any shares you have short. You don't have to declare your short holdings. Even though you're an insider, even though you're a sophisticated investor, even though you represent other people's money, you don't have to tell the SEC or the public that you've shorted stock in any company. That is private information. Unbelievable. My brain blew. I've been around for decades in this business, and I didn't know that. I thought I knew everything. But here's one little piece of news. I also found out another little ditty. You do have to declare all of your option contract holdings. So if you hold put contracts or call contracts, you have to declare those. And guess what? Melvin Capital disclosed on December the 30th, 2020, their stock and call and put option holdings. And inside their holdings, I ranked the top 11 option holdings that they've got on the put side, which means they're betting the stocks will go down in value. All right. The number one holding in their put contracts is a company called GSX Tech DU. They're shorting 1.6 million shares, or $148 million on the table, shorting that company's stock by buying put contracts. Their number two position is Mylan. They have 7.4 million shares shorted there through put contracts. Their number three is Martin Marietta, $61 million worth of shorting there. Only 260,000 shares, but they're short Martin Marietta. Number four, Ligand Pharma. And they've got 57 million shorted there. The number five stock with the fifth most amount of money that they've bought put contracts in is GameStop. $55 million in put contracts on GameStop. They've shorted 5.4 million shares by buying up these put contracts. All right. So they want the stock to go down. Now, what's the question that I was wondering was, well, what contracts do they have? Are they in the money? Are they out of the money? Are they near the money? Where are they on the money? By the way, thank you, George Tremblay, for your fabulous donation to my channel. Thank you. This keeps me on the air. Thank you very much. The folks at Melvin Capital, they own enough puts for 5.4 million shares. They own July the 16th, 2021 put contracts that have a $15 exercise price. 1.5 exercise price, $15. They are out of the money. Those contracts are technically right now worthless. The $55 million they spent on buying those put contracts have a zero book value if this was July the 17th, 2021. However, today is January the 26th, 2021. So these contracts have almost 7 months left to live. All right, almost 7 months, but they're out of the money. The stock's $122 right now, $123 right now. They're out of the money, $108 a share. Connor, thank you, Connor, for your donation. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I was blown away when I saw this. I couldn't believe it. I went, oh my God, they're short 5.4 million shares at $15 a share, the puts. Now, here's the good news for Melvin Capital. There's actually good news. They can only lose the $55 million that they paid for the contracts. That's all they can lose. Because if you and I buy a contract, a call contract or a put contract, we can only lose the money we're paying for that contract. We don't have to exercise it. We're not obligated to exercise it. In the case of Melvin Capital, it looks to me like they bought put contracts for $55 million to profit on GameStop if GameStop closes below $15 a share between when they bought the contract and when the contract expires. But here's something that, again, doesn't make sense to me. I can't figure this out. Well, I guess I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I'm an old guy, and I must get confused. So I need you to help me with this one, all right? It's a mathematical question, all right? If you have the right to sell 5.4 million shares to somebody at $15 a share, but you paid $55 million for the privilege of doing that, don't you think that the 5.4 million shares divided into the $55 million, isn't that $11 a share? Am I missing something here? So the shares would have to go to zero, because if they're zero and I can buy them for zero and sell them for 15, I've made $15 a share, which would give me about 70 something million dollars for the 55 I've spent. I'd make 20 million. But if the shares only go down to $10 a share, the put contracts are only worth $5 each. I think this guy loses half his money. What is he sitting on $15 puts for? I don't get it. There's something there that's not clicking in my brain, and I've been sitting here all day going, huh? Other positions that they're short, just so you know, they're short National Beverage. They've got 54 million shorted there. I think they're upside down on that. The next one is Bed Bath & Beyond. You heard of that one? Am I talking about stocks that are the most shorted stocks in the stock market right now? This guy's got $48 million on put positions on Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, I don't know, and it's possible, but I can't guarantee it, but it's possible that Melvin Capital is also holding short positions on the stocks as well as these put contracts. So they could be short actual shares, but they don't have to disclose it. We know there are 70 million shorted out there. There's 70 million shares shorted. Melvin could well have 1 million shares or 2 million or 5 million. I don't know. I don't know how many shares they've shorted, and I don't know what price they shorted them at either. But what I do know is that as of yesterday, when the announcement was made that an investment was made into Melvin Capital of $2.75 billion, almost $3 billion was invested into this company. What I do know is that as of that point in time, they had admitted that they were down 30% on their investments. And a rough calculation sort of says a $30 billion drop in value is something like $2 to $3 billion in losses. because they had 12 something billion and they lost 30% of it. So that's 3.5 billion. So these guys are down billions of dollars on their short positions. I think puts and stock, but I can't tell you the stock side because they don't have to disclose it. The SEC won't make them do it. I think it's time to write our congressmen and our senators on the banking committees to say, hey, don't you think it would be in the investor's best interest to know if I'm a shareholder of a company, shouldn't I know that a professional hedge fund manager with billions of dollars of capital is shorting the bejesus out of the stock that I am buying? I'm only a 100 share investor. I haven't got a chance against this guy. If I know that the guy from Melbourne has 1 million shares short, I wouldn't have bought the stock because I'm betting against this guy. I haven't got $1 billion to protect my investment. You think that would be part of the fairness of investing in the markets? Duh, right? I did one more calculation. I calculated the value of the top 11 put contract positions that Melvin had as of September the 30th, 2000. Everything I'm telling you is 4 months old, all right? It's changed since then for the worse. But at that time, they had $700 million into put contracts. And it looks to me like they've lost almost all of it. Now, they haven't lost it all as of this second because these contracts, in some cases, still have time left. Some of these have expired. Some they probably rolled over. So I don't know how much of the 700, but they're losing money. They are losing money big time. And so they didn't accept an investment of $2.75 billion yesterday. They begged for and were given a bailout of $2.75 billion. They needed money to cover their short positions because I think they had calls, margin calls from their brokers that they're using for all the investments they have, including GameStop. Now, yesterday they accepted $2.75 million. Yesterday, GameStop was trading at $60 to $75 a share towards the end of the day. Right now, as I'm talking to you, they're $122.46 a share. So those put contracts are $107 out of the money. And if they've got a couple of million shares shorted, they're hundreds of millions of more dollars upside down. You multiply all the shares that have been shorted, 70 million, by the price of the stock right now, you will come up with, in effect, a market cap as to how much exposure people have right now on the short side, on the stocks. So 70 times $120, what is that? $8.5 billion, if I got my math right. I think it's $8.5 billion. That's the exposure right now for short sellers. Now, if they shorted it at 50 or at $61, let's say they shorted at 61, that's half of the price. They're only short 4.2 billion. They're only down 4.2 billion. But if they shorted it at 10, 12, 15, 18, $20, and it's sitting at 120, there are people down $100 a share right now on every share they shorted. And there's 70 million of them out there. I don't know the numbers. I wish I could tell you the numbers, but I can't because it's not required to be disclosed under the SEC. Fascinating stuff going on behind the scenes with respect to GameStop. It's happening behind the scenes at Best Buy and beyond. It's happening behind the scenes of these other stocks I've mentioned, and I haven't gotten into them. Gabriel Langevin, thank you for your donation to my channel. KCT, thank you, KCT, $50. Thank you so much for the donation to my show today. I really, really appreciate it. So, wow. The thing to remember is in 3 days, we have options expiring again on Friday, okay? We have options expiring this Friday, and it would not surprise me if another 2+ million option contracts trade hands. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting that the higher the shares go, the more volume options contracts will have. Because I now know for a fact that you can buy and sell options contracts that have a $100 strike price, 105, 110, 115. They'll go up to 150. These shares go to $150. They'll go up to 200. There'll be the contracts keep coming out. They keep being, they'll be allowed to be created the higher the shares go, but they won't be allowed to be created at the $5, $10, and $15 level anymore for the future. So they try to keep within kind of a market range. But right now, you can buy contracts down the line that have $120 strike prices. Whether you're a buyer, you're a seller or not, it's up to you. It's unbelievable. Now, on Friday that we just had and the Friday we're going to have, you have to keep in mind
And the big question is, where did Melvin Capital buy put contracts? Who do they buy them from to get that many? How are they created? How can you do that? Because normally in the options market, in order to have a contract exist for 100 shares, somebody with 100 shares would want to sell a contract against their stock. So if I have 100 shares and I want to sell anyone out there a call contract or a put contract against my stock, I would go to the Chicago Board of Trade, the open market, through Robinhood or any of the platforms you use right now. Any of you who have 100 shares or more, you can do this. If you have an options account, you can write a contract. You can create one. So if a $120 call contract that has 6 months to live is trading now, you can create one and add it to the outstanding number of call contracts that are out there now. And if the call contract for 6 months from now is trading at, say, $40, someone's prepared to give you $40 a share right now for your one call contract for the right to buy from you 100 shares of GameStop at $120 a share, and you take that deal, you've guaranteed yourself $160 a share if you get taken out. Because you're going to get $120 from the buyer of the contract, and you got the $40 up front as a premium. You've got the $40 now, and you've got 100 shares that you might get $120 for later. The shares don't go, if they're below $120 between now and the end of that contract's life, the person won't exercise the contract. They won't do it because it'll be cheaper to buy the stock in the open market. You get to keep the $40 and you still have 100 shares of whatever they're trading at. If they're back to 80, your cost, you bought the stock right now at 120, you wrote the contract for 40, you're into it for $80. And if they're sitting at $80, you're even. So there's your protection. You got $40 downside protection. But you can deliver the stock. You can deliver the 100 shares if they get called. If they go to $140 a share, the guy will buy them off you for 120. Count on it. He'll buy them off you. Somebody will buy them off you. But you'll get your 120, plus you got the 40 already. You got 160. You took a $120 investment, turned it into $160 today. What's wrong with that? But if it goes to $200 a share, you don't get $200 a share. You only get the 160 because you got the 120 plus the 40. That's the downside of writing a contract, of being, you're shorting your stock. You're offering your stock for sale, but you have it. You've got it in your hand. So now the question is, how in the world and where in the world did Melvin Capital get enough put contracts to be able to be short 5.4 million shares? How's that possible? And the answer is simple. On the Chicago Board of Trade, there are market makers for all these contracts. And they're all licensed by the CME. They have so much money in their bank accounts. They've got insurance against bad bets. They are capable of creating contracts. And so theoretically, right now, if I was a market maker on Chicago's Board of Trade, and I found that there was a buyer wanting to buy, say, let's say someone wants to buy 10 contracts at $120 call contracts, $120 for 6 months from now, and they're prepared to pay $40 a share or $4,000 a contract right now, I could create 10 contracts, even though I don't have any shares. I could create the 10 contracts, sell this individual 10 contracts with a $120 exercise price, take the $40,000 that they're giving me, and I can just hold the position, and I don't have the stock. All right. Fast forward to Friday in July, or whenever this contract expires. If the shares are at $200 a share, I'm in trouble because I've got to deliver 1,000 shares to a holder of contracts for $120. The stock's at 200. I got to buy them at 200, deliver them for 120, lose $80 a share, but I did get 40 way back when. I lose $40 on that contract. That's how me as a market maker can lose money. Thank you for that donation. I don't know who that was, $4.99. It just came in. Thank you so much for that. Multiply that position times 5 million shares. There were on Friday, just 4 days ago, there were people who had call contracts at $40 a share. They had thousands of them, and they were in the money, way in the money, $30 in the money. And there were people who had sold those contracts 6 months ago, 8 months ago, that didn't have the stock, who don't have the stock. They were the ones Monday morning buying the stock that ran the market to $159 a share by Monday lunchtime. The market makers were caught short. This Friday, here we go again. We've got contracts out there, call contracts at 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, every dollar, not every $5. Every dollar starting at $10 right up to $60 a share easily. The stock right now is $127 while I'm talking to you live right now on the air. 1,461 of you are here watching this. They're $127 a share right now. If it's a $27 contract that expires this Friday, it's worth $100 book value right now. A single 100 share contract is worth, is that 10 grand? I have trouble with numbers. Yes, 100 shares times $100. It's 10 grand. The contract is worth $10,000. If you've got 1,000 of them, you're talking millions. We're talking millions of shares. So if 2.4 million shares contracts trade hands on Friday, that represents 240 million shares. Again, there's only 51 million out there. Where are these call writers? Where are these market makers going to get the stock from at these low prices? They were hoping they would get them at 20, 30 bucks and be able to deliver the stock. Thank you, John Hughes, for your donation. Thank you very much. How are they going to do that? They're not going to be able to do that. There's no way. They're gonna buy stock at 150, 170, 200, 200. I don't know. It's theoretically limitless, as every professional will admit. Jim Cramer admits it, and I love Jim Cramer, by the way. I love this guy. He admits it. You short stock, you have unlimited losses as your risk factor. Unlimited losses could happen to you. Talk to anyone who was short Tesla a year ago when the shares were at $50 a share pre-split. They were $250 back then before they split 5 for 1, if that's what it was. They were shorting at 250, 300, 350 a share. They were laughing. They thought, Tesla's going back to $50 a share. I'll buy it back. I'll sell it at 350, buy it at 50, and I'll make $300 a share shorting against Elon Musk. Mistake. 850 today is the price of the Tesla shares. Losses of $500 a share. Millions of them were shorted. Tens of millions, billions of dollars were lost by short sellers in Tesla. Now it's happening in GameStop, and we're only at 129. Right now we're 129.49 a share right at this moment in time. This is going higher. This short squeeze hasn't even started in any big way. It hasn't really happened yet. It's still ongoing. I read an article this morning that there were people buying back stock yesterday and today, getting out of their short positions and taking the loss. And they were buying stock from people who were shorting it to them, new shorters. There were shorters shorting stock yesterday at $75 a share. There were shorters this morning at 82, 83, 84, 85, 90, 90. There are shorters right now shorting stock at 127.73 right now to anyone who wants to buy it off of them, because they're thinking eventually it's got to stop. I mean, it's got to stop. Yeah, eventually it could, probably will. But not unless there's 70 million shares out there that are short right now and only 51 million possibly trading. That inequality, this isn't going to stop. This is going to keep going and go, like the Energizer Buddy. It's just going to keep going and going. And then you add a little bit of fuel on top of all that, and you find out the exposure that Melvin's got, Melvin Capital. You multiply his problems or their problems by 20 other hedge funds, because there are a bunch of them into this deal. Not one person is short 70 million shares. There are a zillion entities short these shares, and all the contracts out there. They're getting hammered the higher this thing goes. So if you're a holder of the stock, you have no pressure. You bought your shares at $60 a share, $20 a share, $100 a share half an hour ago, and you paid cash for your stock. You are the smartest investor on the street. You're the most stable on the street. And the thing that the folks, the professionals don't get, again, I keep pointing at my TV, which is just over here, because I watch, CNBC and stuff. The analysts that they bring on, and even Jim Cramer, who I love Jim Cramer, and I love watching the guys in the morning. They admit it, but they don't highlight it very much. They talk about it, but they gloss over it. The big thing to remember is that a vast majority of investors that are buying stock through Robinhood, Fidelity, Schwab, all of these trading platforms where there's no commissions, fractional share ownerships and all of that, a vast majority of these people are using very little money. We're not talking about millionaires in droves coming into Robinhood to buy stock on a whim. Millionaires have advisors. They can afford them. Advisors talk to them about tax strategies, long-term retirement strategies. They merge their mortgages and their car payments and their obligations and their revenues and their dividend income all in one massive portfolio, and they get paid a percentage to handle a person's affairs because they have money to manage. The millions of people out there, and how many are gamers? This is the thing that I love. There are millions of gamers who are finding out, hey, I could make some money buying stock in GameStop, the company that I buy my stuff from. I know these guys. I know everything about these guys. You mean I can open an account at Robinhood and I could buy $100 worth of GameStop? They'll do it. They're doing it. They've been doing it. And there are millions of them. And there are fractional shares. There are people who own half a share, 2/3 of a share, 9/10 of a share, 1.6 shares, 3.6 shares, all the way up to a couple of hundred shares. There are millions of these who've come into this market in the last few months and have just been picking up stock. And none of them are going to get rich because they don't have enough shares to get rich. They're going to feel rich because some of these folks bought stock at $10 a share and they got 10 shares at $10 for $100, and the 10 shares are trading at $132 a piece right now. So they're worth $1,300. They took 100 and turned it into 1,300. They're not idiots. They're geniuses because they paid cash for the stock. They have no margins, no exposure. They can sleep at night. The big problem they have when they go to bed at night is how much higher will it go tomorrow? Could it go higher? And if so, how much higher will it go? Those are the problems that people who are long have on this stock. How much money can I make? The short sellers have another problem. Short sellers, they run the gamut too. There are small short sellers and medium size, and then there are whales, and there are a bunch of whales. And these are the folks who are not sleeping at night. They're the ones keeping probably popping a few uppers to keep going. They're trying to figure out what the heck to do because at $136 a share, they are down gazillions of dollars. And we're now talking at 136 times 70 million shares. We've just passed $9 billion in a short position, or we're at 150, it'll be over 10 billion. The short position will be 10 billion. The value of GameStop, the market capitalization of GameStop with 70 million shares outstanding, 69.7 million, is approaching $8.5–9 billion. The company was worth $350 million in the summertime when they were trading at $5 a share. It's at $5 a share times 70 million shares. That's 350 million market cap. The market cap now is over $8.5–9 billion with a B. It's going higher. I'm waiting and I'm praying and I'm hoping that the management of GameStop, if anybody knows any of these people, let them know that Bruce at Stock Markets with Bruce is suggesting, thank you, Otarga, for the Hong Kong dollars, 80 Hong Kong bucks. Thanks, buddy. I'm suggesting to the management of GameStop, pick up the phone every hour on the hour, if you must, and call the top 50 brokerage companies in the United States until you find one brokerage firm that will take your call and will do a stock offering for you at market. 2 months ago, those of you who don't know, I have another channel called Traveling with Bruce. I was talking about Royal Caribbean and their financial problems. And those of you who trade stock, you know all about the cruise stocks and all their trials and tribulations. There's no one sailing anywhere right now. Royal Caribbean is burning $290 million a month not to sail. They're burning off about $9 million a day in money every day just to keep the ship sitting in the water with 130 crew members per ship, the head office costs, the IT costs, and their staff. Even after furloughs, layoffs, they are still paying legals and insurance and payments. port fees, $9 million a day they are losing. They needed to raise money, and they've been raising money since last March. By the way, cheers to all of you from Traveling with Bruce and Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for these donations. Let me continue the story. Royal Caribbean, they raised a couple of $1 billion when they exercised their credit lines. Then they went to the brokerage community in Wall Street, and they started to issue rollover old bonds into new bonds. It's what the Treasury does all the time. Nothing new there. The trick was, of course, they were maturing out 3 and 4% interest-paying bonds and reissuing new bonds for an extra $1 billion on top of the money they owed at 7-8% interest. Then a month or two later, they raised another couple of $1 billion, and now they're paying 8-9% interest. Then about 2 months ago, they made an announcement, which I thought was the wisest thing they could have done. Their shares were trading at $70 to $75 a share, and they announced they were going to raise $1 billion cash by selling stock into the market. And they were doing it as a market offering. They used 24 brokerage firms, and over about a 10-day time frame, they were able to raise $1 billion. The shares are trading like crazy between 75 and 85 bucks a share, because people were convinced that people were going to go cruising again by January right now. Didn't happen. They raised $1 billion. They went to the SEC, they filed it, then they went to the SEC and announced that it's a done deal. They put $1 billion in their bank account and they issued stock. I would like to see GameStop do this right now. I would really like to see GameStop do something like this right now. Raise a couple of $1 billion over the next 2 to 4 weeks. Find brokers that are prepared to become part of the consortium and cut a deal. And let's make this happen. Otherwise, declare a rights offering or do a warrants issue, a special dividend. One more trick they could use to screw the short sellers. Again, this is an old man talk. I'm 65. And let me tell you an old trick you could use. This isn't a trick. This is legit. Any public company can do this. GameStop could right now declare a special cash dividend. $1 a share. Let's just use a number. $1 a share. They have 70 million shares outstanding. They could issue $70 million from their treasury and give every shareholder a $1 dividend cash just because because they love you. So if you own stock, you get $1 a share. Thank you very much. But if you're short stock, you've got to cough up $1 a share. So you offer a $1 special dividend, $70 million has to be put up by the short sellers to cover those who have the stock. There are 140 million shares out there in people's hands because 70 million came from the company and 70 million came from short sellers. And if the company is offering a $1 a share dividend, everybody who has stock is entitled to the dividend. So the short sellers are on the hook. Now, if GameStop were to come up with a $5 a share special dividend, $350 million, they could borrow that money right now from a bank. Borrow $350 million and hand out a special dividend right now to all the shareholders. The short sellers would have to come up with $350 million cash in dividends. You think the stock won't go up? Because they're going to want out. It's going to become more and more painful to hold the position. There's all kinds of tricks here. I'm just praying that behind the scenes and that down the road, maybe a month or 2 or 3 or 4, we will hear the backstory. I'm hoping it's been happening already. The backstory will come out where you remember when Bruce was talking about doing a rights offering or raising money from the treasury or whatever. Well, while he was doing that, the guys at GameStop were talking to their brokers in New York who told them all about the same things because that's what they do. But they negotiated a deal to help them raise cash. I would say that if the short sellers were to get together and identify themselves to each other, and they know who they are, they could then go to the company through a broker, an intermediary, and cut a deal. What's the deal? What's the deal, you ask? The deal would be, how do we get out of this? What do we need to do? $100 a share will all go away. Here's $7 billion will all go away. Call it a day. I don't know. I don't think these shorters have the money to do it. With Melvin Capital raising $2.75 billion yesterday on what the stock did on Friday, right now their problem is twice as bad. I think Melvin Capital is it might need another couple of $1 billion in a couple of days. The way this is going, if this stock keeps going, and if Bed Bath and Beyond is going to do what they're doing, and other stocks go up that they're shorted on, they're going to need more money, and as will others. And there will be hedge funds that will go under if this continues on. They will go under. They cannot stop the retail investor. The most powerful investor in the entire market is the person that can buy the stock cash. And if you've got $50 and you're buying a fourth of a share right now, you have power, because you can't be sold out. You got the money, you bought the stock legit. You have $123.14 right now. You can buy one share of the company, and that's a share that the shorters will never get from you, because you've got it unless you decide to give it up. And if you sit back and say, you know what, I got $123.14 on the line, I can lose that money and still pay my bills. I don't care if it goes to zero. Guess what? It's not going to go to zero. But if it goes to 60, I lose $63. So what? I lost $63. You know what? I eat $63 in McDonald's every month. What do I care? I'm going to buy the stock, put it away, and sit on it and watch these shorters sweat, and they are sweating big time. So there's a whole plethora of info from this YouTuber that doesn't own any stock. I don't own any contracts. I have no positions in any stock whatsoever. I am simply a YouTuber. I have to repeat myself in case there's a bunch of new people here. I'm just a YouTuber. I comment on the markets because I used to be in the market. I used to be a stockbroker, a branch manager. I was the president of a public traded company. I was an offshore asset manager in the Cayman Islands. I've seen the market from every direction, and I've been involved in every aspect of the business, from clearing share certificates to ordering them, to delivering them, to writing contracts, to exercising contracts, to being a desk trader, firing brokers, hiring brokers, telling them how great they are, telling them how bad they are. I've done it all. And I've dealt with other company presidents and regulators, but in my scale only. I was not the president of IBM or anything like that. Small guy with a lot of experience, and I love talking about this market. I love talking about the market in general. This story has captivated my attention, and I think it's captivated a lot of you. Mike, thank you for the $5 donation. If I missed any of you, if you've made a donation to me and I've missed your name, I apologize, because there are 2,247 people here watching me right now. That's a new record for this channel. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon and give me a thumbs up for this video, this show, if you don't mind, because it'll spread the word out to YouTube. If you're long GameStop and you want others to know what you're learning here, hit the thumbs up button. You're doing yourself a favor, because YouTube will spread this video to more people. And the more people that learn more about what's going on behind the scenes, the better, because there's a lot going on. Again, do not be discouraged from time to time when the shares of this stock go down on you. They go down in value, and they muddle about for a while. This is supposed to happen. This is normal. There may be some people who are going to try to take advantage of your potential resolve in holding on to your position by saying, "Oh, it dropped $10 a share. It's over. They're getting out now. They don't believe anymore." I can tell you that the amount of news that's coming out of GameStop in the next 6 months to a year will be endless. A lot of corporate developments are going to happen. You just have to give them time. I cut these guys all the slack in the world. They didn't know in Texas that a month ago, when they were trading at $15 a share, that the shares would do what they're doing right now, this quickly, this violently. They didn't know. And it's not their fault. They didn't make it happen. They were part of the situation, but they didn't make it happen. I'm just taking a look at GameStop again on my phone. The volume right now, 126 million, I think it is, for the day. 126 million shares traded so far today, and we still have a little ways to go before we close. If I am right, or no, we're getting ready to close. No, we're not ready to close yet. Still have an hour to go. So lots going on. Not an hour, but we're getting there. They didn't know. They're not the cause of this. It's not their fault that there are 70 million shares shorted. It's not the company's fault. I'll tell you something else. For those of you who are new to the market, and you don't know some of the in and outs and stuff, the higher the shares go right now, the company is not getting any richer. GameStop doesn't make more money in their bottom line just because their stock is going up in price. they will become more valuable if they issue stock to the market. They are worth more money as far as a market capitalization is concerned. Yes. Again, thank you for this donation. Potatoes are life. Thank you for your donation. Just saw it. So at $131 a share times 70 million actual shares outstanding, we're at $10 billion. The company's now worth $10 billion in market cap. But they're not going to make $1 billion profit this month because they're worth $10 billion in market cap. So the only way the company can benefit, one of the ways really, is they could issue stock from their treasury for cash. And they should be, because with 100 and something million, 120 million shares trading with the stock, let's say it's averaged 100 all day long, that's $12 billion in stock that traded hands today. $12 billion traded hands today in GameStop. The brokers are making a killing. They're having a great all time. The stock brokers love this. The guys who are short don't love this. They are very upset. They are very worried. They're very much in big trouble right now. That is a fact. The Dow is up 29 points. S&P is up about 1 point. NASDAQ is up 8. In a nothing day, as far as the big average is concerned, this is the winner. And it's becoming evident as each hour goes by and as each day goes by, the shares aren't going back to $5 a share. They're not going back to $20 a share. You remember last week when the shorter, Mr. Left, tried to talk you into the fact that the stock was going to go back to 20? I think he was short 2 million shares. Excuse me. He's short 2 million shares, I believe, but I don't know at what price. And I don't know if he's gotten out. For his sake, I hope he did. I hope he got the hell out of there and is not subject to this, because by now he might not be able to afford to hold this position. I don't know. But there are more and more hedge funds out there that are finding themselves upside down, and the shorters are short right now $10 billion. If the company is worth $10 billion in actual market cap, the short sellers are holding $10 billion in short sales at 70 million shares shorted. So one reflects the other, because there are too many shares shorted for the company, period. And so technically speaking, and theoretically speaking, these shares can go much higher because there is no stopping this stock. Those who own the stock don't want to sell. Why would you? Those who have the short position need to buy them back to get out. And the only way they can buy them all is if all of you sell all of your shares. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And as they keep on going and they keep on going, there's less reason for you to want to do it. And the longer they stay at these levels, the more comfortable you will get with this new neighborhood. If these shares were to start trading tomorrow at $40 to $45 a share, most of you would be crying tears of sadness. But you'd forgotten the fact that 10 days before that, they were at $40 a share, and they had only just got there for the first time in a decade or whatever number of years, 5 years. So we get used to the new neighborhood, the new normal. A lot of us are used to the fact that we can't go out of our houses. A lot of analysts are not used to the fact that we can't get out of our houses. And they're not used to the fact, or they're not accepting it, that we're at home all day long. And we've got time on our hands because we're not behind the wheel or sitting on a subway commuting to the office back and forth all day long. We have time now to do some research on investments. And we're researching investment opportunities like over-shorted stock situations, short squeeze candidates. This is the number one short squeeze candidate, has been for a couple of years now. And you can thank the management of GameStop for a big chunk of this, because they bought back 37 million or 34 million of their shares a year and a half ago. About a year to 2 years ago, they bought back 34 million of the shares of GameStop at an average price of, I believe I said, $5.14 a share. I'll repeat that. $5.14 a share is what they bought their own stock back for a year to 2 years ago. It took them about a year to do it. 34 million shares disappeared. If they were to reissue those shares now at the stock's 134, let's call it 135.14, they would be issuing the stock for $130 a share more than what they paid to sell it in the first place. You get that? That is unbelievable money. 34 million times $130 a share. Quick mathematics. You're going to have to tell me how much that is. That is billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars into the treasury. And it's a gain for the company. They only bought their stock back. They're just reselling them again. They could do that. Why not? I think it would be a marvelous idea, but they might do that at a higher price than this. That's why it hasn't happened yet. I thought for sure when the stock hit 50, 60 bucks a share, they would start issuing stock. I figured 10 million at 50, 10 million at 60, then they'll do 10 million at 70. Now it's 134.50 a share right now on the market. Now they can talk to brokers 125 a share, 120 a share, 130 a share. Yeah, they could just do a market offering. Like I said, if they offer it as a market offering, they don't have to put a price on it. They can let it go with the market, and they'll just say to the street, we're going to issue 5 million at market. Investors out there will go, 5 million? That's all? You're only going to sell 5 million at market? That's going to last, that won't even last an hour. You can do that in 30 minutes the way the stock is trading. That's the point. That offering 5 million shares at market without putting a limit on it, without putting a downward thing on it, the stock could go up another 50 bucks a share and they could sell it into the run. And then they could announce, yeah, we just sold, $500 million worth of stock. We're going to do another shelf offering. We're going to issue another 500 million at market, in the next, over the next few weeks. And then to let the brokers piece off 1,000 here, 5,000 here, 10,000 here, 15,000 there. They might get a phone call or two from a few shorters going, if you got 20,000, I can get off you. You don't know. $134.69 a share right now on the market for GameStop. How high will it go? Thank you for being here. I can't say hi to all of you. It would be next to impossible because I got 1,000 or 2 comments. 2,600 of you are here. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for those of you who've been making PayPal donations to this YouTuber. I really appreciate that. 96 to 98% of any donation you make lands in my bank account. Any super chats, any super stickers you're making, thank you. Catsy, thank you, Cats, for the £4 super sticker. I love you. That comes through YouTube, through my channel. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. This channel is only 6 months old. I started this channel back in the summertime. About 2 weeks ago, we had 1,200 subscribers. As of this morning, we were at 2,600 subscribers. I don't know where we're at right now. I don't even know. Does anybody know how many subscribers I have? I have no idea. Hopefully we'll hit 3,000 today or more. It's exciting. The channel is growing dramatically because of the interest in GameStop. I love covering the market as a whole. And as time goes by, I will talk about other stocks. I promise I will. But at the moment, I felt that I would rather stick to this story only because it's so dynamic and it's so fast moving, and that I would share with you what I'm hearing and what I'm discovering and what I'm learning and what I'm trying to figure out, just kind of where it's at. 2,800, a whole bunch of subscribers. Thank you, everybody. You're at 3,210, someone says. 3,210 subscribers. Thank you. That is awesome. I'm trying to figure out as much as I can for you about what's going on. I'm trying to keep my eye on the SEC filings if anything is going on there. I'm trying to find, I listen to all the analysts on the television, whether they're pro or negative GameStop, or they like small investors, or they don't care, or they hate Wall Street bets, or love it, or respect it. I follow everybody. And then I just try to bring what I've learned back to you guys, and you decide for yourselves what I'm bringing you, whether it's worth your while or not. Nicholas Park, thank you for the $5 donation super chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Folks are watching me from around the world, and I appreciate that too. I get a kick out of finding out where you folks are watching me from. So if any of you want to let me know what town or country you're in, I love to hear that. Someone here, Tan, is saying that BlackRock just increased their stake in GameStop. You're one of the only good boomers, says LOL. Compare this to VW Infinity Squeeze. I can't because I'm not an expert on that trade. Papa Tunes, if Elon Musk gets in, then we're all rich. Too much. It's too much swag. Hawaii is where I'm watching you from. People's Germany, Chris, Tampa, Marvin, Toronto. I can't keep up with these comments. Linz, England, Virginia, Pakistan, Michigan. I bought 37 GameStop now. Let's squeeze from Austria. Kyle, watching all the way from Northern Ireland. Bruce, been enjoying your stream. Andrew, thank you so much, Andrew, for your donation. It came in here somewhere and I missed it. There it is right there. Andrew, thank you for the donation. There it is. I very much appreciate it. Who else is here? Lawrence from Kansas, Michael from Sweden, Mr. Maddie from Belgium. Welcome, everybody, to my show. Andrew just made a donation for $5. Thanks, buddy. You are awesome, you guys, keeping me going. I love it. Croatia is here. Philippe, Justin from Wales, Peter from Scotland, Michael from Sweden. There we are. NAH, Sweden, another Sweden. Johan from the Netherlands. Welcome from Nederland. Antman from New York, 55 Pictures, Germany. Jasper, Netherlands. Lucas, Alabama. Love saying that. Florida man, Robert is here. Franklin, Texas. John, the UK. Savage, New York. Michael, New York. Sunny, let's go, Elon. Hiano, Texas is here. Jose, Boston, Massachusetts. Bartos, Poland is here. Lithuania, my father was born in Lithuania. Way to go. You're one of the good guys. Way to go. Kevin, California. I used to live in California. Palm Desert, California. Miss it terribly. I'm in Canada right now. We just hit $140.87 a share on GameStop. The market cap of the company now is $7 billion plus about $10 billion. $142 it just hit. We're now you're definitely worth $10 billion. The shorts are now upside down, $10 billion less what they got for the stock. Oh my gosh! Do it, says KV. Justin is in here from Wales. Atlanta, Mayhul says Atlanta. Kathy, Bremen, Germany. Welcome from Deutschland. Aus Deutschland. Willkommen and bienvenue and welcome all of you. Guten Tag from Deutschland. Cruz or Colorado, baby. Taylor from Tirana. Patrick, Tendytown. Antonio, España, man. I'm here from España. Love Spain. Loops going to the moon. Joab, Portugal. Mia 09, LA, baby. Love Los Angeles. Spencer from Salt Lake City. The closest In-N-Out burger joint from my house, Salt Lake City, baby. It's a special town for my wife and I. My wife is known as Jennifer. That's not a real name, but she's a Jennifer Aniston lookalike. And Jen and I love In-N-Out burger, baby. Philip, Sweden. Mo, Germany. Dusseldorf. Awesome. Ali's from Pakistan. Welcome, buddy. Who else is here? We've got TSC from Texas. My messages are skipping so fast I can't keep up. Question for Bruce. What does the data from iBorrowDesk mean? It's referenced a few times, but I'm not sure how to interpret those numbers. Is that shares available to trade? Something to do with the float? I don't follow the site, so I don't know what it is you're referring to. So I can't comment on it specifically. I follow, as much as I can, and I'm learning more and more sites that are out there. Dozens and dozens of sites for information. Some are free, some you pay for. It's absolutely unbelievable. Who else is here? We got Jim from London. Welcome. Appy is Mother Russia. We have Exual. Do you think GameStop drop will be GameStop will Friday? So we buy the dip. Planning, taking profit, buying the dip. Oh, you want to day trade it? I have no idea. I can't tell you. I mean, yesterday 159. 2 minutes later 120. Half an hour later $70. Today it didn't do that. It didn't do that. It just slowly rose, had a little dip there towards the middle of the day, and now it's just been steady, higher and higher and higher. It's just not stopping. David Heinzholm, thank you for the PayPal donation. I just saw it. Mark, I just saw your donation come in. Someone sent me $10. Thank you for that. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Who else is here? I'm trying to keep up with it. They're coming in too fast. Here we go. Frittata. $10. What's your price target? I was saying 2 weeks ago it would go to 100, and then I said it could go higher, but I don't know how much higher. Then the other day I saw it go to 159. I went, well, there's my number blown all the heck. Now we're at 143. We're $16 away from yesterday's high. Could we break it today? Will it break in the aftermarket? Is it the aftermarket now? I don't even know. It's unbelievable what's going on out there. There's no limit to the stock. There's technically no limit. It is not illegal for a stock to go up in value if there are more buyers and sellers, and the buyers are individuals. There's nothing wrong with that. It's quite legit. Could it go higher? Yeah. Could it go a lot higher? Yeah. Could it double? Yeah. Could it triple? Yeah, it could. I don't know if it will. but technically anything's possible. Could it go back to $60 a share? Yes, but I don't see more selling coming into the stock right now in the immediate future than buying. And I don't see shorters going to 80 million shares short. I don't think that'll happen either. The cost of borrowing is skyrocketing. I think they're paying now 25 to 30% interest just to carry a short position. So if you've got 1,000 shares at GameStop shorted, they're trading at $144 a share right now, you're short. What is that? $14,000, $140,000, 1,000 shares, $146,000 right now, 146 a share. You're short 146 grand. You're paying about 2.5% interest on that per month right now to carry that position. Get out. Unbelievable. Yeah, the great comments coming in, folks. I love all you guys for this. I wish I could give you, I could keep up with you, but I can't. I'm not able to do it. The comments are coming in much too quickly. We're going to 1,000, says Diamond. Unreal movement in the stock, unreal buying pressure. Let me take a look at the volume traded here using my fancy dancy iPhone here. Showing now 138 million traded. It's not even Friday's volume. Friday's volume was almost 200 million shares. I think yesterday was 130 million or something like that. Today, 138. Unbelievable. High of the day, 147.63. Right now, 144.59. We're virtually at the high of the day today, within $14 of the all-time high set yesterday when it touched 159. Unreal. 52-week high, 159.18 is the 52-week high. That was yesterday for about a minute. Something tells me if we hit a new high today, we're going to stick around here a while because I don't see panicking shareholders worried as much anymore. The higher these shares go, the more comfortable the holders are that have it because they realize we are right. We were right all along. We've been right the whole time buying this stuff and hanging on to it. We were correct in the fact that it's over shorted. It's way oversold. There's no reason for the stock to be undervalued on the exchange. There's every reason for the short sellers to be squeezed badly, incredibly badly. And it's happening right now, every second of the day that I've been on the air. The short sellers are getting the bejesus kicked out of them right now. 2,478 of you here, you know it. You know I'm right. You see it, the trading, the market never lies. Someone told me that once when I was in the business. The market never lies. And it's true. The stock market never lies because that's money, baby. 145.20, 145.13, that's cash. That's real money. Money doesn't lie. People who hold money lie. People who want money lie. People trying to get money lie. But those trades, they don't lie. The stock is up 68.65 a share today. And that's undeniable. And it's not fake. It's real. And all of you out there who are small investors and you're buying this stock and putting it into your account, you're paying cash for it, you're the smartest players on the market. You're the smartest ones. Whether you're buying $100 worth of the stock, 1,000, 10,000 bucks, 50,000, 100,000, I don't care how much you're spending. If you're a small investor, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 or less, buying this stock cash, you're the smartest investor on the street right now. No risk to you other than the price of the stock. No margin calls coming to you. No one going to sell you out. No one's going to mess with you. You own the stock. You control your fate. I agree. The shares could go down. The shares could go up. But you can only lose what you put up. And right now, it's $146 a share. And if you're buying 100 shares or 10 shares for $1,460, that's all you can lose. But I don't think you're going to lose it all. I don't think this is not $19.99. I am so sick and tired of these television analysts, the so-called smart ones, who are comparing this trading activity to $19.99 when NASDAQ went stupid. You remember those days? Those of you who are young, too young to know, you got to understand something that back in 1999, I was in the Cayman Islands at the time and the markets were just going stupid. And there were companies being brought to the market by bona fide brokerage firms in Wall Street, many of who are not with us anymore because the next downturn took care of those guys. 2008, I'm talking about, the Big Short. There were companies being brought public back in 1999 that were internet companies that didn't have any business. They had no plan. They had no revenue. Thank you, John Metzer, for the SEK donation. I appreciate it. I'm not sure what SEK is, but it's 50 of them, and I appreciate it. We'll figure it out later. There were companies being taken public back in 1999 that were internet companies and e-commerce future potential companies that never got off the ground. They were able to raise 10, 15, 20 million dollars. They had raised 5 and 10 and 15 million as private companies. Then they went public with 10 and 15 million dollar offerings, and they went public. And they were gone within 2 years because they only had a hope of doing a certain thing on the internet or on the open overall e-commerce market. It didn't exist at that time. Today, there are companies that are e-commerce companies that are selling merchandise, that have warehouses, that have employees, that have 2 years of a track record, that are growing at 50% per year or 70% a quarter. These are the companies that are going public. They're going public already well-funded, and they're only offering 10 to 15% of their stock to the public at large. When you had a chance to buy, thank you, Scott Halpern, for the donation. If you had a chance to buy DoorDash, a month ago, DoorDash went public. Did you get the stock at $2 a share? Were you able to get any at 10? Did you get any at 30? Were you called by your stockbroker and offered any of the stock on the IPO? I bet you 99.9% of you who are here didn't get any phone call from anybody for any of it. The first time you were allowed to buy stock in DoorDash was the first trade. Nicholas Park, thank you for your donation. Thank you. Really appreciate it. The first chance you had a chance to buy DoorDash stock was on the first trade at the opening when you saw the pre-market, when they were trying to average out the market. And it was at a much higher price than anyone had paid before you. And as far as Wall Street was concerned, that's fair. That's okay. I call that bunk. In a market like today, to take advantage of small retail investors, to make them pay the highest price and take the highest risk, that's crap. That's absolute crap. What should have been done and what should be done by the exchanges, again, this is one person's opinion. I'm not a market guy. Just saying, I think that if a company wants to go public on an IPO and they're only going to offer 15% of the stock, the first investors that get 80% of the stock are retail investors on a Dutch auction. And you want to buy 100 shares, you put an order in for 100 shares, but you might only get 10. You put an order in for 1,000 shares, you might only get 50. You'll get an allocation at the IPO price. And then the rest you can get whatever the price is at. That, I think, is the way it should go. But that's just me. Bankers don't make the kind of money they want to make. I got a £2 donation from Fast Hands. Thanks, Fast Hands, for that. I appreciate that. That's how it should be done. But no. That's not right. We're going to do it the old school way. We're going to let the insiders raise a bunch of cash from hedge funds and pension funds privately, and then we're going to go to the IPO system down the road. And then we'll do the offering at 70, 80 bucks a share. We'll talk it at 50, 60, but we'll issue it at 70. And then we'll first trade the stock at 150 bucks a share. And that's where the retail investor can get all they want. Yeah, because guess who's selling it? If I got some at 70, you can have all I got at 150. How much you want? Sure. Ridiculous. That's not fair. But that is the market today. So this GameStop right here, this is the equalizer. This is a small, very small, Dustin, thank you for the super chat. This is a very small equalizer in the overall scheme of the world. There are small retail investors who were able to buy these shares at 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 15, 20 bucks a share for months, for years. And now they're getting their reward. And the short sellers who had their way with this stock, they could have done anything to it they wanted. They were doing market sell orders to drive the stock down. It would go up to 580 and they'd sell another 20,000 shares and bring it down to 550. And then they'd hit another 20,000 shares, bring it down to 520. Then wait a few minutes and get it to 545 and then hit them with 100,000 and bring it down to 480. Crush the stock. And they did it for years until they reached 71 million shares short. And then the little bell went off. Time's up. You can't short anymore. You're 140% short as it is. And someone out there went, thank you, Sadikiran, for the $5 donation. Really appreciate it. A smart investor out there, a savvy group of investors who are on Wall Street bets, they're looking at this going, it appears to me that these shares are heavily oversold. There's a real imbalance between long and short sellers. And if enough people get together and buy up the open free trading stock and don't offer it and just buy enough with cash and don't have any on margin, the short sellers are screwed. And theoretically, that's possible. And in theory, it's happening right now. It's happening in real life. 147.59 is the current price of GameStop right now on the stock exchange. I can't believe I'm saying it. $12 away from the all-time high. And that could happen in 5 minutes, 3 minutes. It could happen. It might not happen today. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but it's 147 right now. This is the payback of paybacks. At $150 a share, the company is worth $10.5 billion in book value, and the short sellers are on the hook for $10.5 billion. These are American dollars. For those of you who don't know what currency I'm talking about, just so we're all straight here. We're talking American dollars. 10.5 billion of them. That's kind of like 14 billion Canadian dollars. In Canada, it's a lot of more money. So 10.5 billion American. They're trading at 147.38 right now. They're up 71.15 on the day. And there's no stopping this at the point. There's some stopping it. Yes, there are people. Any of you can sell anytime you want. You can sell some of your shares, all of your shares. You can go short if you got the guts. You got the kind of money you want to do it. I wouldn't recommend it, but I suspect that these shares will go higher because I don't think the sellers are afraid anymore. I think what they saw today was a power move from the longs and the shorts running out of gas. And I think the short sellers who are short are busy right now trying to drum up cash to carry the position. Because not only do they have to have a carrying price, the interest rate, they also have to have the margin to carry the short position. And it might be dollar for dollar. So if you're short one share at $148, it used to be, say, under normal trading conditions, you might only have to put up $50 to $80 of margin. But under the current circumstances, you might have to put up $148. You might have to put up $200 for every share you're shorting. You might. I'm not saying you will. There's each brokerage house has its own rules. They can make whatever rules they want with their margin accounts. And they change at a moment's notice, and you might be given 1 hour to comply with the new margin account rules, or you get bought in. I can't help anyone who's short with what's going to happen. I wish the best for you out there. If you're short stock, you're potentially really on the hook. Matthew Ware, cheers to you. $5 donation. Appreciate your honest commentary based on real world experience. I wish you were on CNBC. No thanks. No. I have a face for radio. Actually, I have a face for YouTube. If I stay way back here, it's better. If I come in too close, it's no good. So I might as well just stay back here. All those young girls on CNBC, have you noticed that more and more of the commentators are just young gals right out of university? They're smart as a whip. They're really smart. But you don't see old codgers like me on the air anymore. You rarely get a chance to see old guys like me who've been around a couple of decades to see this stuff, but no thanks. No. Cheers to all of you. Thank you. As I try to keep going, I'm drinking caffeine-free Diet Coke, by the way. I might be all hyped up, but I'm not drinking coffee or any stimulants. It's just caffeine-free Diet Coke. I thank you all for your donations today, your support. Those of you subscribing to my channel, thank you very much. Take a look at my other channel, Traveling with Bruce. There it is right there. Traveling with Bruce is my other channel. Subscribe to that one. I love talking about cruise ships, traveling, and cruise shares. There, I talk about the markets a bit there, but I now talk exclusively here about what's going on. And thank you, all of you, for this. Eric, thank you. Cheers, Boomer. Thank you, Eric, for the donation. Appreciate it. Fantastic. Jennifer is laughing back here off camera. She never goes on camera. My Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife. You only see her on advertisements on television and on billboards, but you never see her on my channel personally because she's too shy. You know, she's not working right now. So why should she show herself for free? I can't blame her for that. Can you explain shorts? All I can tell you is a short sale is where you think a stock is going down in price, and right now GameStop is $146.94. You sell a share at $146.94, and you have to buy it back eventually. And if it goes to $136.94 and you buy it back, you made $10. But if it goes to 156.94 and you buy it back, you lose $10. If it goes to 206.94, you lose more. If it goes to $1,000, you lose a ton. People were shorting GameStop at $4 a share, 5, 6, 7, all the way up. There are, right at this minute in time, 71 million shares shorted on GameStop by investors around the world. Many of those shares are shorted by hedge fund professionals, professional traders with billions of dollars of backup to handle the trade, and they're getting hit big time right now. Derek, $5 donation. Thank you. Is there anything shorts can do at this point? I feel like the big guys always win. So some kind of manipulation they can use. If they have enough money, they could buy back their stock and then go long and just take the opposite position. So if they're short 10,000 shares and they're down a ton of money, they buy the stock back and then they buy 10,000 shares and go long and try to make the money back on the way up if it goes higher. Or what they could do is they could buy call contracts. So they're short 10,000 shares, and then they buy 100 call contracts, which represents 10,000 shares, and they buy those at, say, $160 a share. And if the stock goes to 200, they're $40 in the money for the short sale, for the contracts, but they've lost another $40 on the stock. If they're down $100 a share right now on 10,000 shares, they could buy 1,000 calls at, say, $150, where the market is right now, buy 1,000 calls, which is way more than what they're shorted. And if the shares go to 200, they'll make more money on the contracts than they lost on the short. They could try that. If they have pockets that are deep enough, they could try that, but it's risking a ton of money. We're talking millions per trade. Taylor Gilbert, thank you. Can you explain when the squeeze will take place and how we will know it's happening? It's happening right now. There are short sellers getting out. Short sellers all day today, all day yesterday, the day before. They've been buying back their stock, especially the shorters at $2, $5, $7. These guys have all been buying back their stock, or they've been forced out by their brokers. But it's not surprising to me, but what's happening is as each buyer is buying stock back, the seller of those shares is another shorter. So there's other shorters who are now shorting here. They want to short at 149.09. That's what we're trading at right now. They want to short it at 149.09, and they want to buy it back at 109.09 if they can, or $145 a share. If it goes down $1, they make money. If it goes down $10, they make more money. If it goes down $50, they make a lot of money. So there are new shorters taking new short positions here, replacing the original shorters that got caught at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and everything else a share. Liam, thank you, Liam, for your contribution. And you're right, the squeeze has just begun. That is correct. Christian, if it wasn't for you, I would have sold my 15 grand worth of shares at 147. Now I'm convinced. Just hang on. Well, like I say, it could go back to 110 at any time. It could go to 190. I don't know. It's 149.85. But all day long today, if you look at the chart now for the full day, you'll see this solid gain on the market all day long, and powerful volume, overwhelming the shorters, overwhelming the sellers. We've had 147.8 million shares trade, where we're coming into 150 million shares, 3 times the number of shares that could possibly trade that are free trading. That means they're just churning over. That means a lot of shorting is going on, and a lot of buying is taking them on and in and out, in and out. And shorters are there are shorters losing money, and there are shorters putting fresh money on the line. That's what's happening. But as every share trades, and as this keeps going up, the average price that people are now involved into the stock goes up. Because a month ago, when the shares were $15 to $20 a share, virtually no one had any stock at more than $10 a share. Or $20 a share. Almost everyone had stock between 257, the 52-week low, I think that's what it is, 257, the 2-week low, and the $20 high. Thank you, Stefan Mole. Thank you, Stefan, for your donation through PayPal. I just saw it click in. Very much appreciate that. So the shares were trading between 15 and $20 a share. Everybody was comfortable between 10 and 20. But then they broke out, and they got up to that 40 mark. And now we have shares trading, they were trading between 35 and 45. Joe Lamb, thank you for your donation. Just saw that kick in. Very much appreciated. So all of a sudden, 35, 45, they got comfortable there. Then they went to 65, 75 for the last couple of days. They got comfortable there. Now we're getting comfortable between 80 and 149 today. Trading at 149.11. So if they go back to 100 and 120, they'll get comfortable there. This morning on the opening, I was watching day traders on YouTube who were racking their brains whether they should buy it or not on the opening, because it was trading at the opening around 80, 85, up to 90, back to 82, and they were nervous. They were afraid to get in. All they wanted to do was buy it at 80, 82, and get out at 85. They would have gone, I made $3 because they're day traders. There's nothing wrong with being a day trader if you can handle it, if you can stomach it, more power to you. But it's a tough game to play, and it's not easy to handle. And like I said, you can buy it 85 and it can go to 75 in a minute, and now you're down. And if you're a day trader, it's killing you because you're usually in or out within a couple of dollars. Bandito, thank you for the $4.99 donation. What report is being released on Wednesday after market, and will this cause the price to further increase? I'm not sure if there's a report coming after market Wednesday. If somebody knows what that is, you can tell me. But on Friday, the current options that expire this Friday will expire. And like last Friday, every single contract that's a call contract, folks are making money on call contracts. Practically every one of them are making money on call contracts. And so between now and Friday, there's going to be a ton of call trading speculation and a lot of call option exercising going on starting Monday morning. So watch out for the stock Friday and Monday and Tuesday next week. But watch out between now and then, because between now and then, this is continuing on. We're at 149.25 right now. We have 3,680 people watching me live right now. Thank you, all of you who are subscribing to this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to Stock Markets with Bruce. Hit the bell notification icon. You'll automatically be alerted every time I go live and every time I upload a video. I upload videos at any hour. I don't have a schedule. If I feel like issuing a video tonight at midnight about GameStop, I'm issuing it. If you've got the bell notification icon clicked, you will get the notification and you can check it out at your convenience. Please consider subscribing and doing that. That would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you. If you can give me a thumbs up for this show, I would appreciate that very much as well, because every thumbs up you give this broadcast shows YouTube there's a lot of interaction going on between viewer and presenter. They promote this channel to more viewers, and the more viewers that hear about the GameStop story, the better. Because the more educated you are as to what's going on, the better you're going to be. Okay, so thank you. You're helping me, no question about it. But you're helping the cause to get the GameStop story fully distributed to all. All right. IFERG, £9.99 donation. Thank you very much. Question: what is call optioning, and is Friday, Monday, Tuesday going to be good? I'm very new. It invested 88. I'm super excited to be part of the process to take out these hedge funds. If you're a brand new investor, my advice: don't buy any options. Just buy stock, pay cash for it, and sit tight. Do not use margin. Do not speculate with options trading. Leave that to the other guys. Make your money on stock and let GameStop be your lesson as to how the market works. You're going to see the stock go up and down and up and down. It will do this. That's what stocks do. They don't generally just do what they're doing today, go up and only up. They do fluctuate. However, this is a unique situation. Keep an eye, IFERG, on all the research you can find. Follow Wall Street Bets. Follow channels like mine if you like, and others. Watch CNBC if you like. You'll get a lot of information. Patrick, thank you for the donation. Can you explain what a buy-sell wall is? Seeing a lot of talk about 50K sell wall at 150. What is that? Where do you find that info? Okay. These are expressions, Wall Street expressions. It wouldn't surprise me if short sellers, hedge funds, they're going to try to take advantage of lulls in buying activity. A certain time of the day, they're going to try to take advantage. Maybe right now at the bell, they're going to try to take advantage of the market towards the end of the day. We're now at $132 a share. We've just dropped $17 a share in what, a minute, 2 minutes? What happens is the professional traders, a lot of them are day traders, some of them are institutional traders. Others are operating computer programs with these shares. And they will sense that there is a weakness of buy orders because the shares have run up so far so fast. And they will take advantage or try to take advantage of the market by putting a huge amount of shares for sale at a set price, maybe 150, maybe 149, 145, or they just enter a market order, 100,000 share sell at market order, and it just hits every bid automatically, nanosecond after nanosecond, all the way down until 100,000 shares have been sold off. Then the shares kind of gather themselves a little. The buyers are figuring out what the hell's going on. Some people are worried, oh, it's going lower. Other people are, no, it's an opportunity. It's a dip. You might get more selling because people are nervous. You get more buying coming in, but the buying takes a while to catch up to the selling. Sometimes it's the other way around. Selling takes a while to catch up to the buying. This is a classic wave of activity that's going on in the market. Completely normal, completely legal. But sometimes rather nerve-wracking. Flecko number one, £229 donation. Thank you. Can you give quick explanation why wait for Friday? Well, every Friday, stock options expire. And stock options are long options are calls, short options are puts. And so there are interested parties every Friday where they have millions of contracts trading like crazy, which represent hundreds of millions of shares. And there could be a major buy wave needed to deliver stock to people who are exercising their right to buy stock on their call options because they are way in the money. They have the option to buy stock at $60 a share. It's trading at 132. They want their stock. And so the person who sold the contract is now obligated to deliver 100 shares per contract to the holder of the contract. And last Friday, millions of shares had to be purchased on Monday and Tuesday, today, to cover these positions. This Friday, the next batch of contracts expire, millions of them. And here we go again with the market starting Monday and Tuesday of next week. And in the meantime, look what's happening with the stock. It's absolutely unbelievable. So that's a short explanation of what that is, okay? I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can from you. My computer is having a tough time keeping up with all your comments. Love the fact that you're here, you're following me. Thank you for the thumbs ups and everything. Looks like some rubles just came in. I don't know how much this is worth, but Ruslan just sent me 100 rubles. I think that's what that is. Sell GameStop before it's too late. There you go. There's the opposite side. You got the folks who think it's going higher, and here you got someone who thinks it's going lower. 132.33 is the trade I'm looking at last, and I'm just going to double check my computer to see if we've been halted or not. I'm showing up now at 109.50. So there might have been a trading halt, and there might be a major short seller taking a run at the stock, trying to hit the market. I don't know. Now I'm showing it at 132.33, so I can't tell you what the pricing actually is. You'll have to keep an eye on that for yourselves. I'm going to take a look at my phone and take a look at the market again. I'm showing 132.33 at the moment, so I'm not sure what the price of the stock actually is. I think we're approaching the end of the day here. I got CNBC on, but they've got a commercial on right now, so I don't know where we're at. Folks, you can tell me if you know what's going on. That would be absolutely wonderful. Let's see here. Ruslan says, I told you to sell. Again, if you're in for a one-day hold, you're a different kind of investor. If you're a long-term holder where you could buy the stock with cash and just do nothing, sit tight, I think you're going to enjoy the show. It is quite the show that we are witnessing right now, and I think we're going to witness for quite some time yet. It's going to be most interesting. Lots of activity going on. Unbelievable amounts of speculation happening on the stock as I speak. Those of you out there who are sharing my videos, I know some of you watch my shorter videos, you share them with friends. Thank you. That helps a lot. If you can share them on any social media outfit, that would be wonderful. On Facebook or any other social media, Twitter, whatever, exposing this channel and our message that I'm trying to get out. That would be very much appreciated. Some of you out there I know are very savvy on the social media department. I'm not. So thank you for that. More comments coming in, but my computer seems to be frozen here. Let's see here. Heidi thinks that you could triple your money by Friday. Liam, is this your job? Yes, this is my full-time job, being a YouTuber. Let's see here. SGA, Fox Business, NBC, Mad Money, every media is talking about GameStop. This is the way higher. It's going higher. Hold GameStop. It says Heidi, if you sell, you'll miss out. Buy BlackBerry, someone is saying. They're trying to scare us. We want $1,000 a share, says Fever. Let's see. You would make a great college professor, someone just said. Well, thank you very much. I think I'm a little old now to be, I think I'd make a great retired college professor. How about that? Oh, man, this is so much fun. I love following the markets. I love talking about them, love commenting about them. And lately, I've been zeroing in on this story here because it's the dominant story of the market. I'm showing the stock right now at 148.49. Has it popped back up again? Maybe you shouldn't have sold there, Ruslan. Here we go again. We'll keep watching it. 148 a share, says Chris. As someone in college for finance, we need your type of energy. There you go. I really believe that stock market information should be taught to high school students. I think kids in grade 9 should know this stuff because there are idiots out there with a grade 9 education in the business. Or at least they used to be. I think starting grade 9, this should be mandatory education. Chano, thank you for your donation. I was going to sell all my stock on Wednesday to buy GameStop, but I chickened out. I regret not doing so. Only made $2 to $3 grand since Wednesday. Well, you know, a gain is a gain is a gain. And this story isn't over. This is only one day. Today is one day. It's now 146.92. Things will evolve. This company will continue to bring out announcements, all kinds of announcements, and we'll just see how it goes. Let's see. What else is going on? Someone's saying halted up. It's 148 now. Someone's saying, yo, Bruce, we appreciate your knowledge. Thank you. Do not sell, says Arcel. Matthew is laughing his you-know-what off. The real Noriega literally throwing rubles at this smear campaign. Don't sell. The enthusiasm and attitude lends very well to teaching. Thank you. Who else is here? Here we go. A treat. When I was a broker, my senior boss was a high school dropout, but he was a slick sales guy. Yes. I was a stockbroker in 1979, and we came from all kinds of backgrounds. Lassie Pedersen sending me NOK 109 of them. I don't know what NOK is. Does somebody want to let me know what NOK is? What's the value of 109 NOKs? I thank you for the NOKs. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for being here today. $5, the millennials pay black against all the boomers telling us to work harder, playing it smarter now. Right on. Oh my goodness. Aaron, I missed your donation. Thank you. I've been in since $35. I'm still buying more. You're making all kinds of money. Just pay cash. Just pay cash and hold it. Hold it with cash. Don't go on margin if you can at all avoid it. We'll see what happens. 223 by Friday, says brother. Challenges. Don't sell. Well, we'll find out. Unbelievable. Solo Wang, 3,500 shares. Hold. Right on. All I can say is if any of you out there, because of me, have made a whole bunch of money, I'm really happy for you. I'm thrilled. I think this is absolutely fabulous. It's just, it's right. And if you're making a donation to me because of this, I thank you for sharing in the wealth. I appreciate it. I love super chats and we love PayPal donations. Thank you all so much. It's wonderful. I'm having fun here. Let's see what else is going on. I just bought 5 more shares. I'm a whale. Right on, Liam. Liam the whale just picked up 5 more and the shorters can't have it. You own it. Way to go. Flecko, who the hell is Melvin and why do we care? Melvin Capital. Melvin Capital is a hedge fund. They were managing $13 billion in positions, and they have very large short positions in a number of shares out there, and they are short. They are short GameStop, a lot of GameStop. And they needed to get money in their hands fast, and they did. They raised $2.75 billion yesterday from 2 other hedge funds to help shore up their balance sheet because their margin calls were coming in from brokers. I have a suspicion that with GameStop at $148.70, where it's trading right now, something's telling me they might be getting another margin call if they are short what I think they're short. But we'll find out. I know they are short 5.4 million shares in the form of put contracts. July 16th expiry, $15 exercise price. They're worthless right now. They're out of the money. They might be trading at a couple of bucks each, but they have no book value. They are worthless. Ruslan is throwing me some more rubles. I don't know if this is worth anything, but thank you, Ruslan. Sold GameStop 150. Super happy. Not going to go any higher. That's it. He got the highest price that anyone is ever going to get in the world. The rest of you are saps. You're never going to get more than $150 a share. What happens if it goes over $150 a share, Ruslan? Then what are you going to do? But Ruslan, thank you for the donation. Any and all donations, I appreciate, even rubles, because I could use the money. And thank you very, very much for that. Oh, man. And I love the entertainment, too. This is so much fun. Patrick, buying this is just the beginning. I love this stock. 10 minutes to break, 150. Buy it up, guys. Buying this is just the beginning. I love this stock, says Patrick. I show 146.55 on my Market Watch update right now. 147.22. Excuse me. I'm not sure how accurate I am right now. I'm looking here at CNBC over here on the TV. They're talking about General Electric right now. The Dow is down 1.2 points right now. And the markets are going to close very, very shortly, I think. Closing bell in 9 minutes and 36 seconds. So we'll stay until at least the close. And then we'll see how the aftermarket is doing. If you want to hang out with me, I appreciate it. Thank you, all of you, for these donations and making sure, giving me thumbs ups. Please give me thumbs ups. Someone out there, could someone tell me how many thumbs ups have we got right for this show? I'd sure love to know. We have 4,190 people watching me right now live. And how many subscribers do I have on this channel? Does anybody know? Because I can't see that info. I'm looking right now through my StreamYard software to be on the air. So I would appreciate that if anyone can do it. I'm watching these comments come through through like lightning. So if anybody can tell me how many thumbs ups have we got right now, and please give me a thumbs up if you can. And how many subscribers have we got? 2,000 likes, someone says you've got, I'm noticing. 1.9, 2,000 likes. Thank you for that. And I thought I saw a comment as to how many subscribers I have. Pardon me, folks. You have to forgive me here. My phone is acting up because I touched my screen, and you know what happens when you touch the screen? You screw everything up. And so, you know what I'm going to do? 2,600 subs, 4,200 subs. Someone's saying, I don't know what to believe. How many subs I have no idea. 4,270 subs. Someone is saying, thank you for that. We were at 2,600 yesterday. We're at 2,000 subs the day before. So the channel is really growing. And 2,100 thumbs ups. Those of you can give me a thumbs up. If you can give me one right now, help this channel get discovered. The more people that discover this channel, the more people will hear about the GameStop story. And the more that know, the better. Martin C. Canadian dollars, 20 bucks. It's going to go to $1,000 and we're going to be rich. Woo-hoo. Thank you for the donation. Very, very appreciative of all of these donations. Absolutely wonderful. Isaac, thank you for the $5 donation. What's the downside of buying on margin right now? My broken game, me margin by default. And as a newbie, I didn't realize till I bought the shares. I would recommend strongly that you hold the shares if you can, cash only. Don't owe the broker any money, because if you owe them any money and they change the rules, they could sell you out anytime at market without notification. So there are instances out there where I've heard stories where people have had 20 shares and they borrowed against the stock on margin to buy more stock in GameStop or something else. And the broker changed the margin rules because they were told to by their bankers. And they put out an email, and 5 minutes later, clients were sold out of positions until the debit balance was paid out. And so some people would wake up the next morning, look at their account and go, hey, I had 25 shares of GameStop, and now I've only got 10. Where did my 15 shares go? And then they take a look and go, oh, I got sold out at 62 bucks a share. They're trading at 94. That's what's happening with margin accounts. So try to go cash only if you can. If you're a long holder, go cash only, and you can sleep well at night and not worry about what the broker might do to you. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but you're liable for it. Any reason whatsoever, the broker can change the margin rules, and you don't want to be owning stock on margin if you can at all avoid it. You really want to have a strong relationship with your broker, and you want to be on top of that. If you're a casual investor, buy for cash and avoid the entire nightmare of possibly being taken out. That's what I just want to mention. Thank you again, Martin, for your donation. Thank you again to George Tremblay for your donation today. Appreciate this very much, you guys. These super chats have been coming in absolutely fabulous. 3,900 people here, 147, 148.10. We're into the last 5 minutes of the market. Let's see how we end up with the last 5 minutes of the market. It has been unbelievable. Thank you again to some of you out there who've been sending me PayPal donations. I appreciate this. It's really, really appreciated. A PayPal donation means the funds are available to me tomorrow morning. The funds land immediately, and I can go to the bank machine and withdraw it tomorrow if I wanted to. Thank you to Stefan for your donation. I appreciate it. These are confidential. Matthew Fraser, thank you for your contribution. Who else was here? We got David Heinzholm. Thank you for your PayPal donation. Thank you to John P. Lynch for your donation on PayPal today. Very much appreciated. Thank you to Rocco Grasso. Thank you, buddy. Patram Canchera, $4.99 donation. Thank you. What point will the brokers force the shorts to cover? It's happening now. It's been happening for days. It will continue to happen as long as there are 70 million shorted, and there are. It will continue to happen. Any other donations I've missed? Let me just double check here. Thank you to William Wills. Thank you, William, for your donation on PayPal. You're the man. You are the man. Thank you. Who else have we got here? I'm just trying to catch up. I did get a donation last evening, and I owe a shout out to Alex Cosgrave. Thank you, Alex, for your donation on PayPal last night. You can make a PayPal donation to this channel 24/7. Anytime you have the urge, you looking at your statement on your account, you're going, oh my God, I'm rich. I got to reward that guy. He helped me out. I thank you all. Kaz, thank you for the $50 NOK donation. I'm not sure what NOK is, but I appreciate it very, very much. It all comes in very handy. Richard Cuthbert, just saw your donation. It just hit PayPal. Thank you very much. It just came in. Christopher just hit a $5 PayPal donation. That just hit. Thank you as well. You guys are awesome. $149.60 on PayPal. This is awesome stuff. Absolutely unbelievable what these shares are doing right now. Absolutely incredible. And they're going higher. They're just, simply put, they're going higher. There's no stopping this stock. Just no stopping this stock. Anyway, let me kind of get back to where I should be right here with my comments. Here we go. As they're coming through here on my phone as a backup to make sure I can keep an eye on what's happening. David Mendez, thank you, David, for this comment and donation. New viewer, cool channel. Estimate on the end of the week price due to another gamma squeeze because of massive open interest on the $200 calls. There could be another major run up because of the Friday action, but between now and then, we're already running up. So keep an eye on this story. This is just not going to stop. It is just coming in. Jack G, thank you, Jack. I love hearing you talk about GameStop. Thank you, Jack, for that. I say cheers to you from this channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, and this channel, Traveling with Bruce. My other channel, please subscribe to both. Hit the bell notification icon for both, and you get to enjoy me twice. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you being here and visiting with me today, tolerating this very low budget presentation of GameStop. But information is king. Information is everything. You got to know what's going on. Got to stay on top of it. It's really something what's happening out there. The company shares are under unbelievable up pressure. The short sellers are really in trouble. There are hedge funds out there in billions of dollars of trouble. Right now, at $145 a share, we're talking about $9.5 to $10 billion of stock shorted, just stock. Then there are gazillions of dollars in option positions that are out there, many of which are naked option positions. And I think that this could cause another major problem going forward. Absolutely major league problem going forward. And I will try to keep you posted on all the nuances of what's going on. I will try to keep you posted on the behind the scenes stuff. Stock's dipping a bit, 141 right now. At the last minute of the day, a couple of sellers are trying to hit it at the end to try to make it look lousy. It's all artificial, folks. It'll continue to trade after the market and the aftermarket, and it could go even higher. 139.77 as we're coming into the bell here. We're into the final seconds. I think we might be closed. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we're coming into the final bell. 142.92 I see right now. So a little bit of fun activity going on at the bell here right at the end of the day. Solo Wang, thank you for this $20 super sticker. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. And Eric G, I love your input on the GameStop spectacle. Thank you for your involvement in the show and your donation today. Very much appreciated. This is absolutely wonderful. You guys are fantastic. I'm showing 141 right now on the stock, 145 right now on the stock, and I'm showing the Dow down 24, S&P down 5, NASDAQ down 11 points as we're coming into the final minutes of trading, the final seconds. 143 on the stock. High today was about 149-ish, 150 maybe, I think we hit. This will update as the systems catch up. My computer is way behind here. Let me double check on my close quote over here. 146.88 is the official close. Aftermarket now 147.24, up 36 cents. The stock continues to move up. 160 million traded on GameStop today. 160 million shares. Thank you, Green Mender, for the $5 donation. Why do you look like my uncle from New York? Why do I look like your uncle from New York? Yeah, Green Mender, I don't know. I've been to New York a couple of times. I don't remember bumping into anybody in New York that I shouldn't have bumped into. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe relatives of mine have moved to New York and something happened in New York, and I don't know. I just, I can't say. If I could, I would, but I can't, so I won't. How about that? I'll be very evasive on that answer to protect the innocent. Oh, man, kids, are you having fun today? Is this a good time or what? Watching GameStop trade like bloody crazy. Unbelievable. 160 million plus volume and more. Absolutely out of this world action on the stock. I can hardly believe it. It is just wild and wacky. I'm blown away by the activity of it all. But it's doing what it's doing. There are more buyers than sellers. That's all I can tell you. That's why it's going up. There's more buyers than sellers, and the short sellers can't seem to stop the market. They can't seem to find a way to get in the middle of the stock and stop it. And so the short sellers are being overrun, and the higher the shares go, the more they're being overrun, and this will continue for the foreseeable future. And it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be 6 months, it could be quite some time that this situation will continue on. The only way this will ease up for sure is if the company were to issue stock from its treasury, and I would love the company to consider doing that, but I don't know at what price. This morning, I would have been happy if they were issuing stock at $80 a share. This afternoon around lunch, I would have been happy if they did it at 100. 2 hours ago, if they did it at 125, would have gone, yeah, way to go. Now it's $145 a share. If they were to announce a 10 million share sale from the treasury at 145, bought deal right now, I'd be a happy guy. The bank account would be pretty happy for GameStop. 10 million share sale right now would put 1.4 billion cash in the bank account of the company. With only 80 million shares outstanding, they would be in a pretty good situation. If they did 30 million shares of stock at, say, $150 a share, they'd bring in 4.5 billion cash. They'd have 100 million shares outstanding with 4.5 billion cash in the bank. The stock would be book value of $45 cash. It would never go under 45 again. It would probably never go under 75 again if they did it. Just to give you an idea of how to screw a short seller. Issue stock at these prices, put the money in the bank account for the stock, for the corporation, and the every single short seller will be screwed to every Sunday. It's unbelievable, and the shares could go much, 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 much higher. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, there you have it. That's what I see happening here. I've got Nate. Can you explain what RSI is? Thanks. Donation comes from GME Profits. Thank you, Nate, for your donation. $4.99. I appreciate it. RSI. Anybody know what that means? There could be all kinds of reasons why there are all kinds of RSIs. I'm not 100% sure. Rubles, Ruslan, again, another super sticker, 39 rubles. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I hope you're making nothing but money. And if I'm part of that reason, I appreciate it. Nate, I can't answer the RSI. Relative strength index. Jennifer, is what?
It's
a momentum indicator. Well, used in technical knowledge. You know what that means in my street lingo? More buyers than sellers. More interested in people getting in than getting out. Relative strength index. The strength of the stock pricing is such that there's downside but limited. Much more upside pressure than downside pressure on average. Relative strength index. That could well be it. The Bruce is loose, says Hub. Nothing something. Nokia is Nokia, man. I hear you. Tyler, $200 tomorrow. $1,000 all time. Andrew, $1,000 each share. We're strong together. Neto playing the finance channels of Yahoo, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, Stockwit, Twitter, etc. are all chatting about GameStop. That's right. We're all talking about GameStop. There's a good reason we're talking about GameStop. It is the strongest stock on the market right now. It gained today 90-odd% in value, despite every single trick in the book by short sellers, hedge fund managers who are looking for this thing to go down, by those who don't want the stock to go up, by every trick in the book to find and scare people to get out. It's not working. The people who own the stock, and I'm talking about you folks who are owning this stock, if you own this stock and hold it and don't give it up, this thing goes higher. And if you pay cash for your stock, you can't lose it. If you're buying it on margin, you're risking the stock. It might get taken out from you. So don't be doing that. Those of you who hold the stock have all the power right now. And this thing could go much higher. It really can. Technically speaking, it's true. Ricardo, sorry if this is going to waste people's time. I've been trying to understand options for 48 hours. Could you explain like I was for using, let's say, bananas? All right. Let's do this real simple. GameStop is $144 a share right now. And you think the stock is going to go higher. It's going to go a lot higher. But you don't want to spend $144 to buy one share. You want to spend, you want to get more action than just one share for $144 because that's all you got. You got $144. So you buy 10 call contracts for $14 each. 10 $14 contracts might be good for, say, 2 or 3 weeks, and they're exercisable at $180 a share. I'm making this up. This is not real. But you have the right now for $144 to buy 1,000 shares at $180 for, say, 3 weeks. The shares go to $250 between now and a week from now. The contracts haven't even expired yet. Your contracts are still trading. Stock is trading at $250. You can buy the stock at $180. Your contract that you bought for $14 a contract, you bought 10 of them. I might be confusing everybody here. You bought, shoot, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Start all over again. Start again. So excited. The stock's $150 a share. Easy numbers. You can buy one share for $150. You can buy one call contract for $150. The one call contract is 100 shares. The stock, one stock. All right, so you can buy one stock for $150. It goes to $250. You make $100. You buy one call contract for $150. A $15 contract costs you $150. The stock goes to $250. You're up $100 on 100 shares because you bought the call at when the stock was $150. The stock is now $250. Now it might have been that you bought a $200 call option for $15. So you can buy the stock at $200. It's trading at $250. It's a $50 value for the contract. It's worth $5,000, but you had to pay. Yeah, you had to pay $150 to get it. So you're up money, but you're up more money for the $150 than if you bought just one stock. Again, if you bought the stock for $150, you sell it at $250, you make $100 profit. You buy a call contract for $150 or $15 a share, and the stock goes up $100 a share, the call contract will be worth at least $50 per contract because it has $50 true value. It'll have time value on top of that. It'll likely be worth $65. You paid $15. You're up $50 a share times 100 shares. You made $5,000. That's the difference between a call contract and buying stock. The difference, the downside is if the shares don't reach $200 a share, because that's the exercise price of the call contract, you lose $150. You lost all of it. The shares only go to $200. Your $150 stock is worth $200. You've made $50. You made 33% of your money. No time to decide. You don't have to rush a decision. You can just hold the stock and decide what to do long term. For new investors, I recommend just buy the stock with cash, put the stock away, and sit tight and watch the show like this. Just sit tight and watch. Don't get caught trying to play options markets. They are extremely risky. They're extremely stressful. Yeah, there's upside, but more people lose money on these contracts than make money on these contracts. Just so you know, okay? I hope that that worked out. It was hard for me to do that on the spot, but I did. Love the stream, Sebastian says. 50 SEK dollars have come in here. Love the stream. I know it's hard to say. I'm currently up 200% on the stock. At which point should I say enough's enough? Any advice? Thanks. Well, again, if you bought them at $50 and they're now $150, or you bought them at $75 and they're now $150, there's nothing wrong with selling some of them. One idea is you've made, you took $1,000 and it's worth $2,000. So you sell $1,000 worth of stock. Well, you got $1,000 worth of stock that cost you nothing. It's all profit. And $1,000 you used, you got back. Now it's a free ride. So you can, I call it house money. You could play that game if you want, but if they go higher, it will eat you alive. If it goes lower, you'll be happy. So there you go. Welcome to the stock market. Solo Wang, let's do this again tomorrow, people. Imagine just bought one share today. That's one whole day of entertainment with $60 in your pocket by the end of the day. Thanks for the live covering, Bruce. Thank you, Solo Wang, for your donation today. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for being here with me today. Appreciate it. Posthum, $5 donation. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate all of you for your comments and your donations. Let's see if the latest comments. Elon tweeted, somebody is saying, Elon is bullish on GME. I'd love to see that. Bruce, I'm thinking of streaming it live tomorrow when I traded. What do you say? We'll see. Hopefully, I will probably be live again tomorrow. I don't know what time, but I will be live again tomorrow. I usually go live sort of after the halfway point of the day. Today, I've been live for 2 hours, 41 minutes, caught the last 2 hours of the market and now a little bit of aftermarket trading. I'm showing it at 146.87 unless I'm missing something. SCK Sebastian, great advice. I'll do just that. Great stream. Your energy's so great. I can tell you really care about the viewers. Thank you very much for your donation and your participation in the show. I love it. You guys are great. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. 30,000 of you are still here with me right now live. This is an all-time record for my channel. Even my other channel, I've never had this many people watch live before. But then again, I've never had a stock do this during a day. So this is a one-off. I don't know if it'll be like this tomorrow. Let's hope it will. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for giving my video thumbs ups today. This show, all of my videos, if you watch them all, please give them all a thumbs ups. Check them out. I hope you like them. Leave a comment if you do. I don't mind criticism. If there's something I'm saying it's incorrect, by all means, help me out. Samir, £5.49. Thank you. Lovely stream. Watched a few hours. I was wondering when GME would sell their shares. Wouldn't hurt our share value. Where maybe I don't understand it fully. It could be that they're holding off for now. They might issue stock down the road. They might issue stock in the next couple of weeks. It could be at any time. We'll just have to wait it out. That's all we can do. But I'm confident they will. I just don't know when and for how much. But the higher it goes, 156 now, 156.96 a second ago. We're about to hit the new all-time high. 159 was the all-time high. We might break it here. They might issue stock at $150 a share, $140 a share, bring in a couple $billion in the next few months, and completely transform the company. I believe they will. I really believe they have the opportunity to do so, and they will take advantage of the opportunity to do so. Remember, as I said before earlier in this telecast, they bought back 34 million shares of their own stock a year and a half ago for $5.14 average. Remember that number. They bought back their own stock a year and a half ago when they were theoretically just a brick and mortar company going out of business any old time. They've done really well, and they are really rocking here. So do not be surprised. 162.87, new all-time high right now on the aftermarket. It's a brand new all-time high. 163.55, 163.98. You are witnessing history with me right now. Those of you who are still here, 164.26, new all-time high for GameStop right now, 164.26. Everyone that's long this stock is making money. Every single investor is up because that's an all-time high, 166.53, all-time high on the stock, all-time high right now. And it's exciting as all get up. Absolutely wonderful. The stock is traded $17 higher in the aftermarket now, and during the day we traded 160 million shares. Absolutely stunning. The shares are just powering along, and technically they can go much higher. They really can. The elusive Dan, $5 donation. Thank you, buddy. Mother passed and left my sister and I 32 grand. I put all of it into GameStop at $17.30. Next week, a very good nonprofit is getting 300 grand under Melvin. Way to go, the elusive Dan. Congratulations on that wonderful trade. I'm thrilled for you. I'm just so happy. Enjoy it. Hold it, sell it, do whatever you want. Way to go. It's just a good thing. It's just a wonderful, good thing. I love it. I just love it. Sebastian, just keep taking my money. You deserve it more than anyone. Think about all the people you're making money with right now. Legendary. Thank you so much for this donation as well. Again, very much appreciated. All of you who are making donations to my channel tonight. This is a pretty special day for me, and I do appreciate this for all of you helping this channel grow as it's growing, becoming as large as it is. I'm just going to take a peek right now at my own channel. 4,995 subscribers. One of you will be the 5,000th subscriber if you subscribe right now to my channel. Thank you for subscribing today. We were at 2,600 subscribers this morning. We're at almost 5,000 subscribers right now on this channel. It is absolutely stunning. It's exciting to no end. And I thank you very much. The amount of watch minutes that I've racked up on this live show has been a record for me. I have over 450,000 minutes of watch time in the last 2 days. We have nothing better to do than watch a stock hit a record high. That's all we're doing, and I love it, and I'm glad we can share it together. Thank you, all of you, for being here and being a part of this incredible day. The stock is 168.82. I think that's a new all-time high yet again, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see what's going on here. Go back into my phone here and get it up. $170, 170.98 now. Another new high for the stock. How high can it go? Limitless. There's no limit on this stock. Every analyst will tell you this. Every analyst will admit it. I'm looking at CNBC, and they're not talking about GameStop right now. It is limitless how high the shares can go. Absolutely no limit to it. The shares now 174.33. That's another high, I believe. They're continuing to run. Just continuing to run. Thank you, all of you who have been here today, following me today. I cannot tell you how much fun this has been for me, how much of a thrill this is for me, and how grateful I am to those of you making donations to this YouTuber. This is all I do. I don't own any shares of GameStop. It's 177 right now. I don't own a single share. I don't have any options. It's 178 now. I only make money on YouTube as a presenter. I have 2 channels. This channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, and Traveling with Bruce, right here. Traveling with Bruce. These are my 2 channels, and I invite you to subscribe to both of them. Follow my goings-ons if you have the time. And thank you, all of you, for being with me and donating to this channel. You're absolutely wonderful. I see a couple more donations just kicking in here. Not sure if this is another super sticker from Ruslan, but it could be. Will, where did you find the percentage of shares held short? That's on. You can find it on Google. Just enter on Google. Do a search for short charts. Go to images and enter the term GameStop short chart and hit that. You'll get all kinds of charts on short selling. All kinds of them. There's a zillion of them out there. Cody, $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that very much. The donations have been coming in here. I can't keep up with them. They're just coming in so fast that I see them on the top of my screen. And I apologize to any of you who are hoping to get a shout out from me. I haven't been able to give them to you because I just can't keep up with the comments. It's absolutely exciting. I really appreciate it. We're now at 191 a share, 193 a share, 193 a share on GameStop. We're going to hit 200 on the air. I'm not going off the air until we hit 200. We're at 194 right now. Unbelievable. Ruslan sending me another donation of 40 rubles. Thank you, buddy. Unbelievable. Ruslan, did you sell at 150? They're 193 now. What are you doing? Unbelievable. Kirk Brunson, $3 super sticker. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that from the Big Apple. You are the man, Kirk. Thank you. George Tremblay, great content. Keep up the good work. Thank you, buddy. All of you out there who've been sending me super stickers, you're great. $5 donation. Thank you, Claro. Thank you very much. A PayPal donation came in. Thank you so much. 184 right now, 183. It almost hit 200. I don't know if it did, but it was awful darn close to $200 a share. Unbelievable what's going on out there. I'm not sure if there are any tweets out there from about the GameStop that I can tell you about. GameStop, I'll do a quick search on GameStop GME and see what I can find. But I'll tell you, the comments out there are unbelievable. Some people are making money, some are losing money. Of course, if you're buying puts, you're not making money. If you're buying calls, you're making money. If you're buying the stock, you're making money. It is absolutely insane what is going on here. Someone, apparently Elon Musk, they say Elon Musk tweeted about GameStop. I can't verify it. I'm just reading what I'm reading. I don't know. Chad sent me $5. Thank you, Chad. Jan sent me $6.99. You have over 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for letting me know that. Aaron Kahn, institutions with unfair advantage have now realized the collective power of retail investors. They got greedy. They paid for it. Now they are paying for it dearly. You are correct, Aaron. Thank you for these donations very, very much. But apparently Elon Musk has tweeted about it. I know he has a vested interest in short selling because his shares really were shorted heavily, and he did very well by that. Durdust, a $10 super sticker. Thank you, Durdust, for that. Appreciate the super sticker coming in here. Thank you, all of you, for becoming subscribers today. Over 5,000 subscribers on this channel. I had 1,200 a week ago, 2,600 yesterday. Over 5,000 today. Thank you so much for becoming subscribers of this channel, watching this show, giving me thumbs ups on this live stream. Thank you for those of you hitting the thumbs up button. I really need them. They really come in handy. If any of you are sharing this show, I thank you as well. It really helps this channel get discovered. Thank you, Lynn, for the PayPal donation. Just saw it coming in right here. Thank you very much, Lynn, for that. Appreciate your PayPal donation. Any of you making a PayPal donation, I try to consider it a private donation unless I slip. But thank you very much for making donations on PayPal to my channel through the PayPal. Said the link is down below, and it might be on the top of these comments. I thank you all very, very much. It is very much appreciated. You're definitely helping keeping me on the air without question. I appreciate it. And Jen appreciates it too. She's just over there, my Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife. She very much appreciates it as well. Durdust, thank you, Durdust. Thank you, Jan. Thanks, Ruslan, and others who have been making donations. All right, 178.25. I don't know if we hit 200 or not. We may not have made it, but it was awful darn close. I know it hit like 190 something, 197 was it? 197, 198. It was right up there. Unbelievable. I think a couple of short sellers stepped in and tried to hit it to stop it from doing it, but it might have done it. I don't know if it hit it or not. I'm just looking here. I cannot tell on this iPad of mine if it did it. I know some of you have a very good trading systems at home, and you probably know more than I do on this one. All right, there it is. 194.50 was the top, says Dad Goon. Right on. Nice price discovery for tomorrow. Where can we buy out of hours? There are brokerage firms that allow trading after hours. do a Google search for that. I don't know if Robinhood is one of them. I don't know if Fidelity does it. I don't know if Schwab does it. This I can't answer. Nick, name, what exactly is the aftermarket, and why are some people allowed to trade after closing? By the way, Elon tweeted game stonk and mentioned Wall Street bets. Nick, thank you for that. £5 donation. Thank you for that. There are brokers that allow after hours trading. I know in the US, but I would do a Google search for exactly who. It's easily found, and you can check it out. I don't promote any Wall Street brokers, any platforms. I don't own any shares. I don't own any options. I'm not long any positions. The only way I enjoy the benefit of this run is from your absolute generosity, and you guys have been very generous today, and I thank you all very, very much. Super chats and PayPal donations have been coming in all during the show, and I thank you very, very much. All right, there you have it. I think I got to shut this down. I gotta save my voice. Do some more research here on what's going on with the shares, what's going on with GameStop. I want to be on top of this story for you. If I come up with any additional information that you need to know about, I'll do a video tonight. If you don't see a video tonight, there'll be one tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be live again tomorrow for the last few hours of the trading day for sure to stay on top of this. Just make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification icon so you will get an alert every time I go live or I do a video. That's the only way you can guarantee to be notified about what I'm up to. And I will try to keep you posted on what's going on out there, because there's a lot happening with this stock, not only on the markets itself, but a lot going on with respect to technical and business moves. I will keep an eye open for SEC filings to see what's going on there, and hopefully we'll hear something from the company in the near future as to what's going on, and I will let you know, what's happening with that. All right, KCT, thank you for the donation. As we were saying goodbye, hey man, if you need someone to mow your lawn, use the money I sent you to hire one of the Melbourne Capital guys. They're gonna need work soon. They are down a lot of money today, a lot more money. It is absolutely unbelievable. Thanks again for being here tonight. All of you, the donations, the best wishes, the thumbs ups, and subscribing to Stock Markets with Bruce. We broke 5,000 subscribers today, all because of you guys. You're absolutely amazing. I love all of you for it. I'm just blown away by that. We're now at, I'm showing here 4,995 subscribers. That's the latest I have, as we're trying to stay on top of what's going on here. The channel is just exploding today. All right, there you go. The stock 178, and it's trading in the aftermarket. We'll keep an eye on it. Have a pleasant evening. Stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy, wear those masks and social distance, and be healthy for me. Don't get into trouble out there, and make sure to join me again tomorrow for more fun with GameStop as we continue on with this unbelievable journey. What a run we've had. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Bye for now, everybody.